Another Friday lawn care live stream. My name is Ron Henry, and I am here to do my best to answer your lawn care questions. If this is your first time here on the live stream, welcome. The way this works, really simple. You just drop your questions down in the chat, and then I work through them in the order they come in. Sometimes I have the answer, sometimes I don't, but either way, we have a good time talking about grass and other lawn care related projects. All right, so let's see who we got in the show tonight. We got Michael Selly. I think, Michael, you have the honor of being first man here this evening, so welcome as always. Dalvin Larry saying, hey, Ron, what's going on, Dalvin? Hope all is going well. We have the notorious LG in the house. I guess, the notorious normally only goes for Connor, but LG, I think, your rep precedes you, so we're going to have to give you a brand now. All right, we also have VMH in the house and a few others. Very, very cool. You're saying, hey, Ron, happy Friday. Applied Celsius and methylated seed oil just earlier. Hope for the best. Yeah, man, that definitely kicks it up a notch as far as improving uptake with Celsius. I didn't actually cover that in the video because most people really don't need it, and it's one of those things that can tend to cause discoloring more so than just using just a non-ionic surfactant. But yeah, as far as some of the stuff you're going after, it makes a lot of sense. I know we've been talking back and forth, so glad to hear that you got your herbicide and you also got it down. Very, very cool stuff. All right, so Dalvin Larry, Dalvin every week. Dalvin is, we're gonna nickname you Seedhead, man, because you're like having Seedhead just will not leave you alone, sir. He says, hey, I want to try PGR on my grass. Sod was installed in March to maybe help with the seed heads. It's pretty much the only thing I haven't tried. I honestly don't know why I'm still getting those. Well, so remember, Dalvin, like seed heads are a stress response from the grass. Like kind of like I did in my video, I don't know, I think it was in May or June of this year. Like whenever temperatures get high or when there's a change, particularly between spring to summer temps, it's a stress response in the grass, and the grass is thinking, okay, man, maybe this temp's going to keep going up. I might die, so I'm going to start sending out babies, so the grass can live on. I guess in a non-nature way, that's exactly what's happening, right? So the idea behind suppressing them is for most people, they just tend to go away after a couple of weeks. So with my lawn, granted, I got PGR down, but with both Alex and myself and some of the other lawns in the neighborhood here, it's normally a 2 to 3 week issue. But if your lawn isn't getting enough water or there's some kind of a nutrient deficiency, which with your lawn, I don't believe that's the case, because I've looked at your soil tests and they look good. The next thing to try is PGR. It can help as far as not making them as apparent. So something just to give a shot. I mean, that's the only thing you haven't tried yet, so I would definitely give that a go. I know you've tried everything, man, and it's something that's been bugging you. But I think that's worth trying out, because also you'll also enjoy PGR anyway. You'll enjoy what it does for your lawn as far as like less mowing, because right now the grass is growing like absolute craziness. So yeah, I think it's something you should absolutely go for if you are really trying to get suppress that seed head action. All right, next up we got Daryl Tunstall in the house, and he's having a slope leveling problem. The struggle is real, man. The struggle is real. He says, good evening, Ron. My challenge is the front yard slope. Leveling it has been a nightmare. It's going to take years to get it so I can mow without scalping. Shaking my head. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. Like my front lawn has taken years of like constant top dressing and some spot top dressing to finally get it to where I can mow it now without much scalping in any areas. One thing I can tell you, a little tip, and something I didn't really cover. I covered it in some other live streams, but I didn't really talk about it in that top dressing video that I did in May. Was also make sure you take a look at drainage issues, right? So if you have any part of your roof, like the guttering that's coming down, if that's draining into the front lawn, like that, believe it or not, water running through your lawn causes quite a bit of wear. So if you can get like that black flexible tubing from like Home Depot, and you can kind of hide it and direct the water off to, maybe the area where you're scalping or some of the steeper parts, that will help. Like I did that this year in the off season, and it made a huge difference in my lawn this year as far as just not having as much issues with sand running off, and just in general, just the slope maintaining the grade better. It's like just producing a lot less wear that way. Something else to try if you haven't given that a shot as yet. Very, very cool. Speaking of the front lawn, guys, so I have a video coming out on Sunday. You think you guys are going to like it, because so one of the questions we get, we're going to be talking about hydrotain tonight and watering issues and anything else you guys got going on, is around this time of year when it gets hot, should we pick up our watering and like start watering every day? Like some people say, yeah, go from, twice a week watering, which is what I usually promote, what I'm really a big fan of, twice a week, pretty heavy, to daily watering. So what actually can happen? What can go wrong if you do that? If you're interested in seeing what can go wrong, courtesy of me and my front lawn, like I took the hit for you guys. You can actually see what can happen. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it can happen. Be sure to check out the video that's going to be launching on Sunday. So I will have that up. It's all about watering and some of the problems you can get into from overwatering, and it's kind of fun to watch. Even if you don't have watering issues, you'll watch it because it should be pretty entertaining. All right, next up we got VMH. She says, "Hey, I called Bear, and Bear told me that he says he means Celsius will not work on southern crabgrass, and it's only labeled for large crabgrass. But since I bought them already, I'm going to give it a try." Yeah, man. So here's the thing. I agree with you on that. Like the label does say large crabgrass, but I've also I have some friends that all they do is they spray lawns. Like they're those guys that are going around with the big spray trucks. And they have gotten good results with Celsius on crabgrass. So I'm going to be interested in seeing what you get. I mean, on mine, I sprayed it on my crabgrass, and it's really discoloring, really nasty, and looking like it's looking really bad. It's not dying off as quickly as the nutsedge was, or the spurge. Like that stuff is like shriveled up and dying. But it is having an effect on the crabgrass that I'm seeing, a visual effect. I'll have to get out there and do a YouTube story for you guys tomorrow morning so you can see. Some of you that are following it have already seen that, but I'll do another one tomorrow morning just so you can see the state of that crabgrass. You can see how it's discoloring and starting to die off. But yeah, keep me posted, man. Keep me posted, because I didn't use MSO when I did mine, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of results you get. All right, next up we have Michael Selly. Says, got some super uneven watering due to forecast that can't be trusted. Yeah, that's a thing, man. That's definitely a thing. Here in Georgia, we've only been blessed with some water. We got rain yesterday, and a couple days before that we got rain. So we got some 2 really heavy showers this week. So I'm hoping the grass will green up nicely. The back lawn has a little bit of heat stress going on, but we got all that rain, so hopefully that will help fix things a little bit. All right, up next we got Up New York Lawn. He's saying, "What's going on, folks? Happy Friday. What's going on, Up New York? Thanks for coming to hang out with us as always." And then Dalvin says, "And before you say it, I ordered 2 cell test kits today." To try and see if there's something weird going on that I'm missing. I don't think there's anything going on, man. I think just with your lawn, for some reason, your grass, seed, it's just seeing stress, and it keeps producing seed heads. It'd be interesting, Dalvin. Is it the entire lawn or just parts of the lawn that's getting the seed head? So if you can, drop a answer down there in the comments. Let us know if it's part of the lawn or the entire lawn. All right, so Up New York, Lon says, "Hey, Ron, today's my birthday. Happy birthday." He says, "It'd be nice to have one of those Ron Henry hats for my 60th hat collection." That's cool, man. That's cool. Happy birthday, first of all. Tonight we are doing a giveaway, though. So for any of you guys that were not here last week, if not, I don't know why you weren't here last week. We'll have to talk about that another time. But we are doing a giveaway tonight. The way you can enter, super simple. You have to go on last week's live stream, and you have to comment on the name of my Bermuda grass plot that's in a planter on the back patio. So if you don't know the answer, you can probably look at the 40 or so comments that are there already where people have given you the answer, but that is a requirement to enter. What we're giving away is a soil test kit from MySoil, courtesy of MySoil. Thanks to the guys at MySoil for sponsoring the test kit. And then in addition to that, we're going to be giving away 2 sample kits of Release Zero NutriKelp from Mirimichi Green. So if some of you guys want to give like the NutriKelp, like some of the parts of the carbon kit, a shot, Mirimichi Green was super nice. They gave me a couple of these samples, so I decided I'm going to give away to you guys because I've got plenty of it, and why not share the love, right? So you're going to get NutriKelp and Release Zero. There's going to be 2 people that are going to get 2 of these bottles, right? And then finally, you know how I am, guys. I like my hats. I like my trucker hats. So in addition to that, the grand prize is going to be a Mirimichi Green trucker hat. I think this is a Richardson hat. Let me see. Yep, it's a Richardson 112. So any of you guys that are hat snobs, you can see, it's a Richardson 112. So that is going to be the grand prize tonight. So 4 winners tonight. So if you've not entered yet, go to last week's live stream, enter the name of the plot and the name of my grass on the patio, and you have a chance to win. Must be present to win. So that's the thing. You got to be present. If we use the random comment picker and you're not here, we get to go on to someone else. So something to keep in mind. And Up New York Lawn, you'll get another shot, man. I'm not sure. I won't do a hat tonight, one of my hats tonight, but you will definitely get an opportunity to win one of the custom hats that Josh Abbey makes available for us. So awesome. Thanks for watching the show and being here part of the live stream. All right, up next we have Thin Cut is in the house. Thin Cut says, "Hey Ron, I put down seed on the 7th and it actually sprouted, Zenith Zoysia, okay, on the 16th. So that's 9 days later. Cool." He says, "I was a bit confused about that. I've been watching and they're not growing fast. Also sent you my soil test. Yeah, that's actually good. So Zenith, I guess maybe sprouts or grows a little bit faster than the Zoysia I have in the back. I have Compadre in the little planter, and that took its sweet time. I mean, I'll tell you, I was beginning to wonder if I did something wrong because the Compadre just was not growing, and it probably took I don't know. You said 9 days. It took 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks, so a little bit longer before they started sprouting. But yeah. And yeah, I did look at your soil test. I think I responded to you already, but if you didn't get that email, let me know and I'll send it again. But I think I did answer your soil test about like the fertilizer that you put down. So very, very good thin cut. So appreciate that. All right, next up we have Kelby Ruiz says, "Happy Friday, Ron. Army worms destroyed Austin, Texas, and the surrounding areas this week. I came out unscathed. Very nice, man. You must have put down something preventative, I'm imagining." So we'll see here in the chat. I asked you what you did, and you said you did Biphan IT and triacide, with host spray for the neighbors. It's cool. Yeah, it definitely helps, man. And insecticide is definitely something to it's definitely something that you want to use to keep grubs, army worms, bill bugs, those kinds of things away. Because by the time you start seeing the damage from them, it's I won't say it's almost too late, but it's you've got like several weeks of recovery ahead of you, assuming you can eliminate them, right? So it's always good, like what you did, to put down a preventative ahead of time to prevent issues before they really become a thing. We had a question last week, and something I can talk to. I'm not sure if he's in the chat as yet. If so, he'll probably ask again. I'll just say it again. But he had a question around like taking care of POA in cool season lawns over in, I think he was in the Netherlands, so they don't have access to all the fancy herbicides that we do. And I talked to a couple of guys in the UK, Robbie from Premier Lawns and Garden Lawn Care, Matt. And they both said the same thing. They said, "Man, it's just cultural practices. With them, they manually remove it. They not verticut. They scarify their lawn as a way to kind of get the POA out. But there's not really outside of like physically removing it and using machinery like a power rake to get rid of it. There's not like a silver bullet that I can give you as far as what to do when you don't have access to the herbicide. So if you're watching this, there's the answer to your question. I promise you I would answer it. So there you go. All right, next up, we got Thin Cuts Back. He says, "I did have a lot of washout on the front, ice on the front. I'll probably reseed next year and just let what's growing already grow. It's a little late to seed now." Yeah, it is, man. I mean, we are, let's say it's the 20th. Yeah, we're getting to the point where temps should start falling off here soon, as far as like the brunt of the summer heat. So as far as any kind of seeding projects for warm season grass, I would probably wait on that because you might get it to germinate, but we're only 4 months or so away from cooler, like really cool temperatures, and you want to give the grass a really good chance to really root in nicely before it gets exposed to extreme temps that it's not a fan of, right? Like cooler temperatures. With the cool season guys, it's about to be your go time. So for you cool season boys and girls, next month is going to be your time to start dropping some seed on your lawn, and overseeding is very much a thing up north, or seeding your lawn renovations. So yeah, if you got cool season turf, you're about to get going, which is really cool. All right, next up we got Ben Raham in the house. He says, "Happy day, mow complete. Nice, good job, Ben. I got mine done early this morning. I got up super early and got it knocked out. I was out there. Alex got his done. So yeah, it was it's good. I'm glad you got your mow in, because sometimes I think you're mowing like right now and you missed some of the show. So it's good that you got it done earlier. All right, so we have a question from Alex B about Hydrotain. He says, "Hey, the granular Hydrotain I bought from the golf course lawn store really helped out with the intense heat and dry spell we had here early this summer. Stuff really works." Awesome, glad to hear that. Glad to hear you're getting good results with it. He says, "Any plans to restock the large bag of granular?" Yeah, let me take a look here, Alex. So we look at the golf course lawn store and we'll cut over. So for Hydrotain, you are right. The granular, the 3-pound and 15-pound bag of the granular are both sold out. The liquids are in stock though. So you have the hose end sprayer option here. You got that, and you've also got the 1 gallon jug. So here's the thing. Even though I am a fan primarily of the granular, mainly because of just ease of use, because of how big of a lawn I have and having to put the liquid down, spray it, then stop and water, does not mean you're not going to get good results with the liquid. Most people actually use liquid Hydrotain more so than the granular. A good thing with the liquid is that it's actually better value for money. Like, it goes further than the granular does. So it's something to keep in mind. But I'm gonna, as far as getting it back in stock, I'll have to reach out to a college and ask them. And this year's just been super crazy as far as just the response on it. And then some other places have been running like some sales, which is also, is also like push the demand up to where it sells out really, really quickly. So I will do my best to try and get it back in stock, get an answer for you. But if in the pinch, you can absolutely use the liquid and still get a great result. And it's on the subject of hydrotane. Last week, I forget her name, but a viewer was in the chat last week and had a question about hydrotane and is it causing fungus, right? Because it helps draw moisture to the root zone, and can applying hydrotane to your lawn cause issues with like root rot and fungus and those kinds of things. And I actually called I guess you'd call him the head chemist or over at Ecology Jim, and spoke with him about it this afternoon. And he said no, he says that really hydrotane, while it does draw moisture to the root zone, like very small microscopic water droplets, when the ground is saturated, like there's already tons of water, it just kind of goes dormant. It doesn't work. In other words, it doesn't keep drawing moisture when there's already moisture present. So the long short of the answer is that no, it doesn't cause fungus problems. It's a question he said they get quite a bit whenever professional turf use the product. Like in the golf course industry, they're really, really concerned about introducing any kind of products that can increase the likelihood of causing fungus issues. So wholeheartedly, no, that's not an issue. That's not going to cause a problem. Fungus, as you guys are going to see in my video on Sunday, if you guys decide to watch it, it's just this time of year, it's the perfect storm. Like if you combine the high temps that we're having right now, along with a lot of moisture. So if you get like a heavy rain for several days in a row, that helps produce conditions that if you have any fungus present in your lawn, it's going to fester and it's going to really take off, right? So it's just a thing you have to really keep in mind. If you're really concerned about that, there's nothing wrong with doing another fungicide application. Just as a preventative to prevent before it gets out of hand, but something to keep in mind as well. But yeah, Alex, the liquid's available. I will get an answer for you on the granular. I think I have your email address, so I will just hit you up and let you know what I find out. But thank you so much for the question, sir. Truly do appreciate it. All right, Thin Cut says, my neighbor moved in this week because of maneuver. He mowed for you this week. He said he mowed for me this week because of my shoulder. That's right, you had the shoulder surgery. You were telling us about that. He says, and gave me a great compliment of how great my lawn is. Love having awesome neighbors. That's sweet, man. That's pretty good. It's always cool, when you have neighbors that will help out, in time of need, or when you have neighbors that don't mind doing things like edging, I hate edging my lawn. I love mowing it. Like I'll mow my lawn every day. There's times of the year when I'm mowing it like every single day, literally. But I don't like dealing with shrubs or edging. Whereas Alex loves doing that stuff, or he dislikes it less than I do. So a lot of times he'll take pity on me if he's out edging his lawn. He'll come over and edge my sidewalk part. So very nice that your neighbors helping you out. Always good to have friends when it comes to dealing with to lawn care, because you never know, he might get hurt one day and you can return the favor. All right, Joseph Roberts is in the house. He says, hey, Iran, hello, everyone. What a couple of weeks. Army worms and porch pirates. They got my humic max and Biphan. So you had, I was reading down in the comments, so you're telling us that you had army worms, one, that's wrecking your lawn or attacking the lawn, but then you had people come and steal your humic max. Dude, that's something else. I mean, I guess they went for the package if it was, heavier in weight, so they figured, 50 pounds, this seems pretty heavy, must be expensive. And they so they got a bag of fertilizer and some insecticide. That's irritating, man. That's really, really, really irritating. Sorry to hear that you lost that. Hopefully, you got some video of it or something, and you'll be able to track them down or something like that. It's crazy, man. That absolutely stinks. All right. Next up, we got JC in the house. He says, hey, Ron, I have a question. For some reason, my tall fescue lawn is turning a little yellow. Not sure why. I'm not overwatering, but it's been hot and humid for the most part. Yeah, JC. So here's the thing. You have tall fescue and it's summertime. So any kind of cool season grass this time of year is going to struggle. There's going to be some challenges with keeping cool season grass looking lush and green and for this time of the year. It's just a thing. If you and I talk again about a month from now, you're probably going to be seeing something different. So the only places around here where I see tall fescue are like churches, like some of the churches around here that have access to, like, I guess they have like their own pond on site, have fescue lawns. and they're watering literally all the time. Like there's one literally across from the karate studio that I train at, and when I go by there in the summertime, like there's always running irrigation. So depending on how much water you're putting on the lawn, that's gonna a way to kind of to keep the stress or the yellowing that you're seeing at bay. But really, it's just the temperatures, man. It's just really hot right now, and it should get better in a few weeks here once the temps start to fall off. So hopefully that helps out. So we got Aldo Beltran in the house. What's going on, Aldo? Thanks for coming to hang out for a little bit. He says, get your lemonade on. I do have my lemonade. It's present, ready to go. Thanks for that. All right, so next up we got Robert. He's saying, just another Friday evening with Ron Henry. Thanks for coming to hang out, Robert. I really appreciate it. And hopefully let me see, what is Robert doing? I'm trying to remember everyone's projects from week to week. Robert had the irrigation installed and he was waiting for it to recover. So thanks for chiming in, Robert. Hope all's going well. Papa Mo's Lowe's in the house. What's going on, sir? Nils, what's going on? And then Lon to Learn says, just one word, brother, fire. I think he's talking about the intro whenever I have the waiting room when I'm just doing the mowing. So I appreciate that, sir. Appreciate it very, very much. Lon to Learn saying the Greensmaster squad. And you guys just talking about, giving me a hard time about my mowing. Yep. So it's fun. It gives you something interesting to look at versus me just pointing at this thing when I had the static images saying live stream starting in like 20 minutes. So give you something to watch while you wait. All right, Vertigo is in the house. We also got LG in the house, but Vertigo is saying, at Ron Henry, been chilling, sitting back with a glass of wine, listening to tunes on the tube amp while we wait for the stream to begin. That's pretty cool, man. Back sipping a glass of wine. That's sounds like a good time. See, I can't do that on the live stream. Can you imagine? Like, I'd be giving all kinds of crazy answers, right? Even crazier than I do when I'm drinking lemonade. Can you imagine me drinking wine on the live stream? Whew. You guys would get getting all kinds of crazy answers, right? Wine is my nemesis. That's the one thing that I do not. It just doesn't sit well with me. It's fine with like a meal, but as far as like to just drink it just by itself, not as much for me anyway. But nice. Yeah, and then Nils said, yeah, it was me. Nice. Yeah, so Nils, yeah, hopefully that answers your question about, Nils last week, guys, had the question about POA, right? So for any of my international viewers, I know in the UK, I have some viewers in the UK and like Europe and the EU. If you have POA, because that's what the question that Nils had, what can you do for it? Because you guys don't really have access to herbicides like we do here in the States. So in that case, you're really going to have to rely on just your cultural practices, right? So a couple of YouTubers I spoke to, they physically remove it. Like they will literally go down there and they'll actually weed it out. Or they'll use something like a power rake or a scarifier to try and get the POA out that way. But there's not really any easy way to do it outside of that, unfortunately. So sorry I don't have a better answer. I did give it a good old Georgia try. Yeah, so you have to get out there and weed it. All right, very nice. So DW Davis says, coolest show around. Music is while mowing is a nice touch. I appreciate it, man. Thanks. I mean, music is always important. You know, it's always important. It sets the mood. You know, you can tell a story through music. And because that mowing session was done like super early in the morning, that's probably, I don't know, just after 7 in the morning when I was doing that. It's nice and tranquil and quiet, and it's just me, my lawn, some dew on the grass, the Greensmaster. So something nice and relaxing, right? That's why I did it. Very, very nice. All right, Lawn to Learn says, I think I have that mold in my yard. Grass is not growing in these spots. Any products available? Thanks. Which mold are we talking about, Lawn to Learn? If you have fungus, there's a couple of fungicides you can put down. The one that I like and recommend is one called one or two. You have a couple of choices. You have a Heritage G, which is just which is Syngenta's branded for azoxystrobin. And then you have Headway G, which has 2 active ingredients, both propiconazole and azoxystrobin. So depending on what you're dealing with, Heritage might do the trick. But if you just want to have 2 different methods of action, 2 modes of action, then Headway is the way to go. The thing is, it's a little bit more expensive, but you get 2 ways to kill le fungus by doing that. So I'll just throw that in the chat for you in case that's what you're talking about. So at Lawn to Learn. And boom, there you go. So I got the links there for the fungicide. So give that a shot. Assuming that's what your question is. I think when you say that, I think that's what you're talking about, right? All right, next up we got Carolyn McLean. What's going on? Carolyn says, hey, what's going on, Carolyn? Hey, thanks for coming to hang out in the live stream. Appreciate it as always. And then Reef Keep It On a Budget says, yo, brother, just got hit with what seems to be overnight with spurge and nutsedge. What can I apply tomorrow? So yeah, so I mean, if you are in Georgia and you got like a heavy rain, like Nutsedge loves that. Like Kalinga slash Nutsedge loves that. It's gonna really, grow really rapidly once it gets a lot of moisture. And as far as for spurge, you got a couple of choices, right? You can, if depending on where you are, Reef, I'm not sure where you are. If you want something that's going to have less chance of discoloring the grass when sprayed when temps are higher like they are now, you can go with Celsius. It's a bit more expensive, but it is it's as far as like a Cadillac herbicide, post-emergent herbicide anyway for warm season grass. It's really one of the better ones. If you want to go the cheaper route, you can go with Spectracide, right? So Spectracide, it's one I recommend all the time. This here, the weed stop, if you got a couple few days where temps are not going to be in the 90s, you could go with this. This is labeled for both for both spurge and nutsedge, and it is effective against those. You just don't want to spray it when temps are a little bit higher. So the nice thing about this is you can roll down to your big box store, Wally World, wherever you like to do your shopping, and you can pick it up there. And a bottle of it is not super expensive, which is the benefit, right? Whereas Celsius, you're gonna pay quite a bit more for Celsius, but it lasts a lot longer. Like if you guys saw my video that was released last Sunday on post-emergent herbicides, like mixing Celsius with Certainty for fairly broad coverage on most warm season grass types. It's not inexpensive, but it works really, really well, and it can be sprayed again as temps are high, like what we're having now. So I'll send you that, Reef, in case you decide to go that route. For Celsius, but yeah, Spectracide or Celsius, either one of those will work, and you should be good to go. Sorry you're dealing with that, but it's a common thing, man. Spurge just will not go away. Spurge is probably my least favorite weed. I hate spurge more than I hate nutsedge, and more than I hate crabgrass. Like crabgrass is bad, but like spurge is horrible because no matter how, like if you mow crabgrass really low, like you keep your lawn at like half an inch, maybe just over half an inch, crabgrass will grow, but it's always going to look kind of sickly and like, what are you doing to me? Because you're cutting it really short and it doesn't like that. Whereas spurge is like all day, every day, bro. Bring it. It's the lower you mow, it'll just find its way into like some little crevices and just keep growing. So spurge is by far my least favorite weed, warm season weed. So, but yeah, give either one of those a shot. And let me know how it works out for you. All right, Hellfront Fashion is in the house. Says, hey, Ron, I made it. I missed the last 2 weeks. I'm ready. Nice. If you got a question, definitely drop it down in the chat. Glad to have you here tonight. Very, very nice. We got Raider Nation in the house. What's going on, Raider Nation? Now, how long have you been a Raiders fan? I guess, how far back did the Raiders go? They were the Oakland Raiders before, right? And then didn't they move to another city in California? And now I think they're in Las Vegas or something. So how long have you been a Raiders fan? I'm not sure if you mean like the Raider football team or something else, but I always think of the Raiders every time I think of your, I see your avatar. All right, next up we got Alex B, a question about, I'm not sure about watering, but about herbicide. He says, at Ron Henry, not watering related, but do you know if most glyphosate products will no longer be sold for residential use next year, or is it mainly the Roundup brand? I don't know the answer to that, man. I actually haven't done, someone mentioned that last week. I didn't actually do the research on that to see if it's going to be all of them or just Roundup. Here's the thing. I know Roundup had that issue with the lawsuit, right? But I can't see how they would just do Roundup and not do everything else containing glyphosate, right? So I don't know. I mean, I would imagine it's going to be probably all glyphosate products. I mean, that's what I would imagine. That's what I would guess. But it's left to be seen. The reason why I didn't look into it is because really, for a non-selective herbicide, yes, Roundup is good in that it's cheap. And you can get your hands on it, but there's so many different things you can use for non-selective herbicides to kill weeds, like in flower beds. There's a lot of like vinegar solutions that you can use. Like Mirimichi Green actually has a non-selective herbicide that works really, really well. It works really well, really fast. So that's why I haven't really done much research into it, because there's so many other options. Like I don't think as a DIY community or as a residential community, we are losing a lot by Roundup or by glyphosate becoming less available for use on residential lawns, because it's really overused on residential lawns anyway. Like it's ruined more home lawns, or at least I should say, I need to be careful. The Roundup containing glyphosate, like the Roundup makes other products too, but the glyphosate product has done more damage to lawns than probably any other herbicide, because people use it incorrectly. So we'll see, man. We will see. Time will tell. It always does, right? So we will see, I guess, last year. All right, Love My Lawn is in the house. Says, good evening, Ron. Hope you're doing well this fine Friday evening. I am doing well. You know, I was fighting with some issues in the front lawn here. You know, not last week, but the week prior to that. We're on the road to recovery. But yeah, if you're interested in seeing what those issues were, the video is going to come out Sunday for you guys to take a look at that. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I cannot complain. Cannot complain. All right, and then Ben S says, are there different watering rates after applying Biphan? That's a good question. You have to look at the label to see. You know, instead of using bifenthrin, you know, bifenthrin is a good insecticide, but as far as another option that is like all natural, you know, non-toxic, you don't have to worry about kids or fur babies or you know, or big kids getting back on the lawn after you apply it. You might want to look into this, Ben. I'm not sure if you're already, you know, if you're already really sold on Biphan, but the Mirimichi Green makes a pest control product that we now have available in the golf course lawn store. This treats a lot of lawn pests, so like things like let's see, we got mosquitoes, whiteflies, ants, fleas, no-see-ums, army worms as well, even though it's not on the label, as long as you apply it at the higher rate. Roaches, ticks, aphids, spiders as well. So, you know, if you want like a natural option for taking care of creepy crawlies, just pests or you know, insects in your lawn, that is also, you know, much safer than a lot of the chemical-based options. Give the pest control a look. It's available in the golf course lawn store. So if you're looking for another option, you can definitely check that out. And I made it super easy for you guys that it's right here. So when you go to the golf course lawn store, it's like front and center, right in the middle, right next to the carbon kit. So you can pick it up there. But as far as to answer your question, I'd have to look at the label to see if there's any rates as far as how much water you need to put down after applying it. If it's important, it'll be on the label. I can tell you that much. All right. Next up, we have Heartfelt Fashion as a question about Carbon Pro G and Essential G. It's a good one. So what's the difference between Essential G and Carbon Pro G? Great question. All right, so both products are made by Mirimichi Green. I'll tell you what's the same about them, and I'll tell you what's different about them. So what's same about them is that they're both made by Mirimichi Green. They both contain a percentage of compost and a percentage of biochar, right? Biochar being a product that helps with nutrient uptake, helps improve microbial activity, just tons of benefits to your soil, and it doesn't really go away in any small period of time. So you apply like you know, fertilizer to your lawn, can be good for 6 weeks, couple of months, depending on the kind you use. Literally, biochar like lasts like hundreds of years. It lasts a long time once you put it in your lawn, right? So the thing that's consistent about both of them is they both have both those components. Compost helps feed the soil, organic material, and then biochar. Where Essential G shines is that it also contains a bit of silica, which helps silicon, which helps with plant cell wall strength. So as far as like physically making the grass stronger, which helps with disease resistance. Some studies show that it helps with that. It's got that in there. It also has humates in it as well. So some humic acid that's in Essential G that's not in Carbon Pro G. So you can almost think of Essential G in my mind as almost like Carbon Pro G 2.0, right? So it's available here on the Golf Course Lawn Store. We did lower the price on it. It's on sale probably until Memorial Day weekend. So we'll see how you know, how things go. Maybe Mirimichi Green will let me keep the price low. We'll see. Fingers crossed. But I mean, for now, I committed to keeping the price it is currently at until you know, Memorial Day. Sorry, I can't remember Memorial Day. Memorial Day is long gone. Labor Day weekend, September. Memorial Day is long gone, Ron. All right. But yeah, so that's the big difference. So as far as makeup, Carbon Pro G is like half biochar. It's actually that's not true. It's 47% biochar, 47% compost, and like 6% it has a microbial package that's added to it as well. Essential G has, I think it's 10% biochar, several different types of compost. There's no microbial component in it, but then you also get the silica and the humic acid and whatnot. So they're both are excellent products. Both are going to do really well on your lawn. But I think of Essential G as like really the successor to Carbon Pro G. So hopefully that helps answer your question. Great question. All right. Next up here, we got Alex B says, I get a few seed heads. I see heads a few weeks a year in the spring, but that's it. Thankfully, more so when I use the rotary over the outlet in general. Yeah, that's a good point, Alex. So yeah, for kind of like you, I know Dalvin's been having some issues with that with seed heads still late into the summer. But for me, it's like a late May, early June type of thing. And then it goes away. And then again, that's a good point. Like I real mow my lawn. So maybe that's also helping as well too. I'm pretty sure Dalvin is also real mowing as well. So I don't think that's it. I'm just not sure. He's going to try out PGR, and then we'll be able to see. All right, next up we got Randy Godling in the house. He says, trying to kill nutsedge. I've tried Image with no luck. I will try Sedgehammer. Do you know if there's an expiration date for Image? That's a good question. I have to check the bottle to see. I don't know for sure on that, Randy. But yeah, give Sedgehammer a shot. Sedgehammer is a great product as well. If you want to go like hardcore, if you want to go like that with the what I consider like to be the Cadillac product for nutsedge, like as far as like it being labeled, it kills pretty much all sedges, like global sedge, yellow sedge, purple, like different types of Kalinga takes care of all of them. Certainty is a really good product for that. So if you already got Sedgehammer, give that a go. That's a great product too. Combining Sedgehammer with Image, some of my viewers have done that, and they've gotten really good results using that blend as well too. But if you want something that is going to knock it out, Certainty also is a great choice. But yeah, give Sedgehammer a shot. Let me know how it works for you. And if you decide to go with Certainty, I'll just put this in the chat here for you, so you can actually take a look. You can go take a look at the label. You can see if it's something you want to try out. But yeah, that's a good, great choice. I think we have a super chat here. Let me get down here and take care of that before we get too far down. Super chat from Ernest Mungai. Thank you so much, Ernest.
Super chat received.
He says ever so lightly and lemonade break. Yeah, so that's a good point, guys. We're a little bit early in the live stream for this, but still, I'm about to take a sip of my lemonade. If you guys wouldn't mind touching the like button ever so gently, it's free for you guys to do. Think about it. Think about how many times can you help someone out in life? That's absolutely free. It's going to help promote the live stream more. It helps the channel, and it's free for you guys. And it gives me a chance to take a sip of my lemonade. So thanks so much for that, Ernest. I appreciate it. Great stuff. All right, let me scroll back up while I'm going on that. We got Lawn Whisperer in the house. What's going on, Justin? Thanks for coming to hang out, sir. Hopefully all is doing well. Baby's doing well and everything else. Your lawn's doing well. All cool. So yeah. Thanks so much for coming to hang out in the show tonight. All right. So where were we? We were with, next up we had Ernest, the guy that actually did the super chat. He says, how late into the fall can I put Carbon Pro G on Xeon Zoysia? How late in the fall? So here's the thing, Ernest. There's really there's not really a time frame on that. You can apply it as long. The only restriction I would say, right, I'd put on applying Carbon Pro G or Essential G is don't apply it to frozen ground. But that's true for any kind of granular lawn product, right? If the ground's frozen, you don't want to be applying it. But I literally last year applied it every month. Starting from like summer of last year all the way up till now. Every month, some granular carbon of some sort, whether it be Carbon Pro G or Essential G. This year has been primarily Essential G, has gone down on my lawn. So yeah, you're absolutely good to throw it down. No issues with that at all. So I mean, if you want to still see a visual response out of the grass from the compost part of it, I don't know, let's say the last time, October, November, that would be the last time if you want to just wait until spring to resume your applications. But I did it all year long. I mean, all throughout the entire season, because here in Georgia, it doesn't get cold enough where we have like hard freezes where the ground is frozen for long periods of time. And yeah, and he says you're in Marietta, so yeah, you're just like me. Yeah, so it's kind of up to you. Really, the limit of how often you apply it is based on your pocketbook. Like how much money do you want to spend on the product is really the question. All right, great question. Next up, we got Heartfelt Fashion again. See, Heartfelt, so you came in, you got in the live stream early, you're getting all your questions in, right? Isn't it good to be able to get in here and get all your questions answered early? Very nice. You said, I know a True Cut can go pretty low, but how high can a True Cut mower go in inches? I think a True Cut will go up to close to 2 inches. I think it'll get over 1.5 inches for sure. I think it'll get close to that 2-inch range. Heartfelt Fashion. I have to look at the specs to know for sure. But around, over 1/2 inch, I want to say 2 inches is what it'll do as well. But here's the thing I would caution you on. With reel mowers, they really work best when you're cutting the grass shorter. So while it can go up that high, you're going to get a better cut if you maintain your lawn at 1.5 inches or lower. And most grasses, most lawns, even if they're not top dressed, most people can get away with mowing at 1.5 inches if they're using a real mower. Using a rotary, yeah, you might get into some scalping, but with your lawn, you can probably get to 1.5 inches, and that's a good sweet spot to kind of start up with, when you're getting into real mowing and get a good result. Because what I'm afraid of is if you start mowing really high, what can happen is, especially if you have that front roller, is it literally just going to push the grass over, and it's not likely that it will pop back up to present nicely to the bed knife. So in essence, you're just not going to get as good a cut, right? So that's why I'm kind of trying to steer you more towards that 1.5 inch range, more so than super tall, if that makes sense. It can work, but it's just not optimal. Like you're trying to use a great piece of equipment that's designed for warm season grass or for shortcut grass, in the way that it's not really designed, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's definitely not for only warm season. People use true cuts up north as well, but it's really designed for people that are trying to maintain their lawn on the shorter side than the taller side. All right, SC Prep Nation says, Randy, I use Ortho Nutsedge Killer, and wow, yeah. So that's a good point. That is what he's talking about is a green bottle. Actually, if you guys look at the video that I released on this past Sunday on combining Certainty and Celsius for warm season grass, like in there, that Ortho product is among the products that I have in my garage. As far as something that will knock nutsedge back quickly, it's a good option. Like the Ortho Nutsedge Killer, yes, it absolutely will. A couple of days, you're going to see a response. However, the area surrounding the nutsedge is also going to get dinged too, right? So your grass is going to get discolored quite a bit from that. Just to give you an option to let you know that. So if I look at, I don't have a picture over here, but I can actually show you guys the video. So this is my lawn. Let's see here. No, I can't do that. Yeah. So this is nutsedge on my that was sprayed with Certainty and that Celsius combination, and you can see the grass all around it is still lush, still green, but the nutsedge is dying, right? So that's what you get with Certainty that you will not get with the Ortho product, and that it will kill the nutsedge. It'll make it look just like that, but the grass is also going to get, it's going to get turned yellow temporarily in the process. So that's why I'm a fan of either Image or Certainty is a great option as well too. But yeah, to your point, SC Prep, it is a great option if you're really trying to knock back the nutsedge quickly. All right, next up we have Andrew Lee's in the house. He says, hey Ron, if you remember, I was pre-germinating seeds. They took well. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you were the one that was trying. I think you said you were soaking them in water or something like that. Since you were pre-germinating the seeds, they took well. Question, if I were to add seed to KBG because it came in sparse, 3 weeks old, how would you seed it? Scared raking will rip the grass up. Yeah, I mean, so you're getting close to the time of year when anytime people are going to do seeding to do thin areas that you would be doing that, Andrew. I would give it a little bit more time. Like if you just put down, you said it only came in like 3 weeks old, and you're afraid, I guess you're afraid of raking it because you don't want to take a sense of ripping it out. I would just seed it, just seed, and maybe do you have like a leveling rake or something that's not crazy aggressive, that's not trying to tear at the turf? If you want to try just casting the seed and maybe using like a push broom, that's an option. Like a push broom to kind of work it in. That's a way to get some good soil to seed contact. That's a little bit less aggressive than using like a rake, which I get what you're saying. It could actually tear some of the grass you're trying to grow out. But I would honestly give it some time. I would give it more time. KBG is a slower germinating grass. It's kind of like Bermuda in that sense, or I probably should say probably more like Zoysia in that sense. It takes its time. Like 3 weeks or longer is not uncommon for KBG. So if it hasn't grown in yet, just give it a bit more time, put some more seed down and see what happens. But you're getting a good result. I'd hate for you to get out there and start ripping at the grass and to undo some of all the hard work that you put in. So I would just throw some more seed down, water it, and see how it responds. And then your follow-up question was, should I continue water like new seeds or water less frequently for the growing sprouts? That's a good question. So I would probably do a hybrid. I wouldn't go crazy like how you were perhaps doing earlier, but I don't know. It's a good point. So you've got grass that's already growing in, and you're going to seed again. You really need to water to get the to really help with germination. So yeah, I mean, if you want to do another seeding project, that means you're just going to be extending that watering cycle. The good news is though, we're getting into the fall. So whereas like getting KBG to grow now is a lot more challenging, or getting it to germinate maybe not so hard, but getting it to stay alive more challenging. in a few weeks or another month from now, you're going to be entering the prime time for that type of grass, to where you actually should have to put less water on it to keep it moist to get good germination. So that's a good balance. And so you're feeding your existing seed, and you're giving yourself a good chance for the new stuff to grow. So great question. Glad you updated us and let us know that it worked well. Appreciate it. Okay, Skinny Geek 10 is in the house. Says, I'm currently mowing every 2 days at 1 inch, so I don't think I need PGR. However, I'm not sure if I'm missing out on having more dense turf by not using it. Yeah, it will get, your turf will get more dense when you use growth regulator, Skinny Geek 10, because what's going to happen is you're mowing at 1 inch, right? And the growth that you're seeing now every 2 days, mowing at 1 inch, it's just going to be less. So you're just going to see less vertical growth, and the grass it is going to get a little bit more dense from it. If you want to try it, I mean, it's not a bad thing to give a shot. It's really not difficult to do. Like PGR, as long as you got your sprayer calibrated, and I've got a video on how to do that. And you've got your walking pace down, or you're using you're using a good tip on your sprayer, but you most importantly that you're applying it at the correct rate per 1,000 square feet. It's not going to hurt anything. I mean, you're going to get a little bit of yellowing, a little bit of bronzing, they like to call it, but it's really just like mild yellowing for a couple of days after applying it. And then you're going to see that the grass is just going to stop growing. It's just going to literally just halt. It's going to really slow down a lot. So, but yeah, it's worth trying out. Even at 1 inch, I would still put PGR on my lawn, because it is going to look nicer. But yeah, give it a shot. We're getting towards the end of the season anyway. So, if you want to experiment a little bit, you're not going to have to look at it too much if it doesn't go exactly the way you want. Let's see. And then Vertigo says, I'd rather have PBR than PGR. What is PBR? Like professional bull riding? That's the only thing I think of when I think of like PBR. So I'm not sure what PBR versus PGR, but there we go. All right. Let's see what we got here. Papa Mo's Low is talking about, he's trying out his Petrotools Fogger and Mirimichi Green Pest Control. He says, I tried them out today, didn't quite reach the peaks, but it seems to have went well. Cancel the the pest company. Awesome, man. Yeah. The one thing I did not say in that video, and it's something that's important with a fogger, you got to make sure that the cap it's the only cap on the entire thing, but the cap that's on the tank, you want to make sure that's tightened down good, because it relies on a good seal for that pump to work properly. So it's not just drawing air; it can actually draw the liquid out, and you get better pressure that way. So make sure it's tightened down really nice. Papa Mo's Low, if you weren't getting as good of a throw as you may have liked. But yeah, that's the nice thing, man. The pest control, I've got some comments from some people saying, because of the cost of it. But if you look at it, if we dig into this a little bit, like you figure a bottle of the pest control, 1 gallon, right, costs $109. Like when I was paying for someone to come out and do pest control, they were doing it quarterly, but they were charging, I'll say for the year it was costing me $350. Just an easy way to remember it. Like $300 for them to come out and just do like dust everything off and spray, and that was it. So this is far, far cheaper. You can apply it more often, and it's not a dangerous chemical. And then as far as coverage, 1 gallon covers up to 120,000 square feet. So you can kind of look at the size of your lawn and divide it into that many applications. So if you look at it from that standpoint, it's really a bargain. So I'm glad you got it down, Papa Mo's Low, that you should get really good results with it. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything else that I can help with for sure. All right, we got Kevin Sheehan in the house. He says, welcome. Hi, all. Welcome to the best live stream. Well, I appreciate that, Kevin. I mean, there's not that many lawn care live streams out there anyway, not the ones that are done consistently. So, I mean, I guess like if you're one of like only a couple, I appreciate the comment and the kind words. Thank you. Thanks so much. And looking good on the Harley as always. Obviously not a Honda, a Harley. All right, next up we got Next Level Lawn Care. Says, hey Ron, I'm here just to listen. What's going on, sir? Thanks for coming to hang out. Appreciate you as always. And then Alex B has a question about rainfall and top dressing, I think. He says, problem spot in my yard with large rainfall amounts is against my retaining wall. Okay. The yard is slightly pitched towards it and it tends to pool up against the wall. Constant top dressing and leveling. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So this is the wall. The lawn is like runs into that and the water settles here. So you're just getting a lot of wear in that area. Yeah, man, that's going to be a thing. I mean, there's some parts of your lawn that are going to suffer from more wear, unfortunately, than other parts. Like even with my lawn, wherever the water drains in the back lawn, like that area tends to get more wear than any other part of the lawn. So I don't know if there's anything you can do as far as like putting in drainage. Like if there's anything you can do with drainage in that area where the lawn meets the retaining wall to help like, pull the water away a little bit faster to help reduce that wear. That's something you can try. But pretty much every lawn is gonna have that, right? Every lawn is gonna have a challenged area. And it sounds like yours is just this retaining wall. So hopefully you're gonna be able to devise a solution. But I would look into drainage. Like that honestly made one of the biggest differences to the front lawn and other areas of my lawn this year is just installing some drainage to keep water off the lawn and onto like the driveway. So very, very cool stuff. All right, Don Julio is in the house. He said just put down 5 yards of soil on 1,000 square feet and getting heavy rain tonight. Hang on, you put 5 yards on 1,000 square feet. You went heavy, man. Wow. Yeah, that's quite a bit. So you're getting heavy rain. Hopefully the area you top dress is fairly level, so you don't get too much running away. But that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. That's heavier. That's much heavier than I do it. But I mean, if I haven't seen the lawn. You didn't send me pictures. Maybe the lawn took all 5 yards, and it's really not that bad. But yeah, you have to keep us posted next week and let us know how it did as far as as far as how it did with holding on to 5 yards over 1,000 square feet. That's a lot of material. All right. And Vertigo says, hey, Ron, I'm here to read my own comments. All right. Well, there you go. You can read your own comments. Always fun, right? All right. And then, and Dalvin is saying it's the entire celebration. It's the entire lawn celebration, Bermuda. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's a good point. So it might be something with celebration, Dalvin. That's a good point. I didn't think about your Bermuda type. I've got the Tifway and Arden. So it might be something that is that's something that's only common or something that only happens or is happening has to do with celebration. It could be that. Very well could be that. I'd have to ask somebody else that has celebration and we can see how it works out. See if they're also having the same problem as you are as far as the seed heads go. That's a good point. All right, and then Alex B is asking the question that I asked. Right, he says, Daniel Julio, how did you put it down? I'm doing a big top dress in a few weeks, and I'm pretty much all manual for 12,000 square feet combined, front and back. Always a rough job. Yes, hopefully you did some kind of you had some help, or maybe you had some powered equipment. That definitely makes it a lot easier. But yeah, let us know. Let us know for sure, Don Julio. All right, Jinwan Park is in the house. What's going on, Jinwan? Thanks for coming to regular, man. You're coming. This is like I think the third or fourth time I've seen you in the live stream. So really appreciate you taking some time out of your Friday evening to come hang out. Says, hey y'all, have a great weekend, everyone. No army worm damage here. It's been crazy in Austin, Texas area. Preventative is the key. Yeah, man, I've been getting a lot of that in the Texas area. You guys are just getting a lot of getting eaten up or beat up with army worms this year. I've been fairly fortunate. Knock on wood. I've been pretty good with my insecticides. I got the Acelepryn down earlier in the season, and then I also a couple weeks ago did the entire lawn with the pest control. Did the entire thing, so the house and all the lawn areas. I'm almost due to do another application here soon, but yeah, no issues that knock on wood with armyworm. So hopefully that continues to be the case. And then Nils says that will cost a lot of time to get the POA out of my lawn. Thank you for the answer. Very, very welcome, sir. Or you can be like I think there was some football field. Was it Tampa? Help me out here, guys. I think it was Tampa. One of the football fields actually put POA down on the field to be green. I'm trying to think of who it was. This is the thing that actually happened. But maybe one of you guys in the comments will know which NFL stadium they actually install POA for whatever reason. Here in the South we try to get rid of it, but they actually put POA in. Very good. Well, yeah, there you go, Nils. At least you have an answer, right? I did my best, but just a little bit of elbow grease and time and consistency, and you can definitely get it out. All right. James Hogan's in the house. He says, enjoy your videos. I live in the north, in between in between all the videos I've watched. You guys have been very helpful. Keep up the good work. I really appreciate it, James. Thank you so much for the support. It's always nice to have, it's always nice to you put a lot of work into a piece of content to have someone watch it. But then also to have you guys also come in the live stream and let me know that you guys are liking it. So I've been trying to change things up here a little bit as far as the style of the content to try and, just make it more interesting to watch, where it's not, this is how you top dress your lawn. This is how you mix, herbicide. This is how you spray herbicide. Trying to make it more, a little more interesting, a little more fun to watch. So hopefully that's coming across in some of the newer content. All right, Kevin Sheehan's in the house. He says, out with the McLean and in with a 2018 Toro Flex 2120 Yahoo. Okay, so you have the honor. You got the first one tonight. Congrats, man. That's a very, 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 very nice mower. Very nice. I'm jealous. Very nice mower. Nothing wrong with the McLean, but let's face it, a Flex 2120, it's kind of an upgrade. So man, congrats. Let us know. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it, but definitely let us know how the lawn does with it. So that's really, really good. Nice upgrade. Nice work. Jinwan saying nothing more satisfying than getting a mow in right before a sunset after a long day of work. Last night was a beautiful 2016 John Deere 180 SL at 0.6 inch height of cut. Austin, Texas, man, that's awesome. That's good. That's a good height of cut. Nice work, Jinwan. Thanks for letting us know. And then another armyworms issue. I have to rename this. I call this one, talking about like lawn watering and just overwatering issues, because that's going to be the video on Sunday is going to be about. But I probably should change it to like the armyworm episode, because everyone is talking about armyworms. So Andrew Wickelman says armyworms are horrible in Fort Worth, Texas too. I used Anderson Duocide granular and Biphan spray weeks ago, but the majority of my neighborhood did not, and their lawns took a beating. Man, that's good. Yeah, so that's a good point that you it's good that you saw it coming. I'm not sure if that's just your normal thing, but I saw it. It's good that you saw it coming, and then just decided to take actions to knock it out. So very, very, very good. All right. And then Brandon Falk has a question. He says, Ron, how do I use calcium carbonate to lower my pH? You actually use calcium or lime to the other way, Brandon. It's more to raise your pH, right? So you don't want to, I think for lowering pH, you're going to want to use something like a citric acid or one of the sulfates, like elemental sulfate, one of those to help lower pH. But if you're trying to raise pH, that's where calcium lime, like either dolomitic or calcitic lime, comes into play. So if you're looking to lower your pH, don't put lime on your lawn. It's you're going the wrong way if you're doing that. So hopefully that helps. All right, Ben Ram says my stripes came out wavy. I'm blaming the lemonade. How you gonna blame lemonade, man? How you gonna what does lemonade have to do with your stripe action not being on point? Here's the thing. I've never actually tried filming or drinking lemonade while mowing. I've tried filming and I get the same thing you're having. I've tried out there. You guys notice, right, in all my YouTube stories where I used to say, "Okay, guys, I'm gonna make a pass and let you guys see the lawnmower running because you guys think it's cool." But I'd be sitting there trying to hold it while I'm mowing, and the pass always got screwed up. It always got all messed up. I'd have to go back and fix it. So I stopped doing that. I just kind of mow a little bit and I show you guys. See, there you go, stripe action. Yay, back to mowing, right? So yeah, it's hard, man. You wouldn't think it doesn't take very much to throw your stripe action off, Dan. It really doesn't, So yeah, I'd say let's leave the lemonade, put the lemonade down while you're doing your mowing. That would be my my suggestion. All right, we have Vinay Patange in the house. Says, hey there, how to kill spotted spurge from Bermuda grass without damaging the grass? Please suggest. You know what? I have an answer for you, Vinay, and I actually covered that in a video that was released this week. I don't think you've seen it, but I will. I'll send you here the link to it. There are two. Okay, so here's the thing. I'll give you a couple of options. All right. I'm going to give you the less expensive option, but actually has higher potential to damage your grass, but it's cheaper. So the first option you have, if the temps are a little bit lower where you are, you can go with something like this, which is Spectracide. It's this will knock out spurge. But you really can't spray. You can't, but you shouldn't spray it when temperatures are 90 degrees or higher, or even approaching 90 degrees, or you're going to take a pretty nasty hit to the color of your grass, right? So that's the one thing with that one. It's less expensive, but it's a decent option. The next option for getting rid of spurge in your lawn, especially this time of year, is to use a herbicide called Celsius. So Celsius is a professional herbicide. It's going to be quite a bit more expensive than Spectracide, but it lasts. I mean, for most home lawns, like you'll buy a container of Celsius and it's going to last forever. Like I was talking to a guy at Site One when I was down there the other day, and he was saying that he has a container that's 9 years old. It's 9 seasons old, and he hasn't used it all up yet. So as long as you're keeping it dry, it's sealed off properly, you're not gonna have an issue, right? So, but I have a video here that I will send to you that actually shows you the concoction that I'm talking about. So at Vinay Tange, there we go. This is the video that talks about Celsius and mixing Celsius and Certainty. Celsius and Certainty as far as knocking as far as knocking those out. And that's, and to your point, the reason why I chose those two, right? Because just a little bit of background, there are other herbicides combinations that you can use on warm season grass that are very effective, that have really broad coverage. But the thing I was after is I wanted to put something together or come up with a mix, a blend that would work for pretty much all warm season grass types other than Bahia. So don't spray it if you have Bahia grass. That so it works for pretty much most grass types, or all warm season grass types anyway, and has really good coverage. So that's where it's our Certainty and Celsius together are a really good option, because Certainty will smoke pretty much any kind of nut sedge, any kind of sedges that you're dealing with. It'll also take care of Poanua, which Celsius is not labeled to take care of. And then Celsius is great for your grassy weeds and also like your broadleaves, like the spotted spurge. And the nice thing about both of them is you can spray them when temperatures are higher without taking a big hit to the color of your grass. So that video that I just linked to you is a good option. So yeah, take a look at that and let me know. Yeah, Celsius and Certainty. And as far as links to those, actually, I'll get you. I'll send you both those right here. So here for Celsius, you are set up right here. I'll just give you the links right now. I mean, they're also in the description of that video that I sent you. But that's Celsius, and then also for Certainty, that is going to be right here. So both these will take care of the situation for you. Very good, very, very good stuff. Great question, man. Great question. Let me know how it works once you get a chance to actually try it out. All right, and then next up, Thin Cut says, I did get your response about my soil test. I really appreciate you. Good, man. I try to do my best to try and respond to emails. I feel really bad whenever I get in the live stream and someone says, hey, man, I emailed you 6 days ago. There's no answer. So I'm glad that I was pretty sure I did, but I'm glad that I thought I did, I actually did do. So that's good. Pretty awesome. All right, next up we got Connor Soul says, hey, Ron, hope you're doing well. I am doing well, sir. Can't complain. Cannot complain. Hanging in there. You know how it is, man. Hanging in there. And then Alex B saying, it's go time indeed for cool season grass. The wet July and August kept the mowing going for us, but started a big reno just before Labor Day. Again, Labor Day, not like a Memorial Day, like I was saying earlier. This is hiring out core aeration last week of August to start off. Very, very, very nice. Very nice. All right. Next up, we got Mazama Blue saying, happy Friday up New York lawn. Happy Friday, Ron. Applied Mirimichi Pest Control a week ago, and I'm happy with the results. Even sprayed around the back yard door. Still as far as bugs. Let's see. So you said you are happy with it. So I'm trying to understand. You said you're happy with the results around the back door, still bugs. So I guess drop it. Let me know, Mazama Blue. You're saying that you still got bugs after you sprayed it, or you're happy with the results because there were bugs around by the back door and you sprayed there and it worked there as well too. So let me know in the chat down below what you're talking about. But I'm glad it looks like you are getting good results with it. So keep it up and let me know in the comments below. Very cool. All right, next up we got Nestor Reyes saying, hey everyone, a couple of minutes late, but you're finally here. You are here, man. Better late than never. Better late than never. It's always good stuff, right? And then Alex B's offering condolences about your porch pirates stealing. How you gonna steal a man's fertilizer? I mean, that's. So, I mean, because you think that the porch pirate should pick it up and be like and shake it and be like, this sounds like dirt. He's got like dirt in a bag and just drop it. But I mean, I guess they just snatch and grab. They picked it up and they just ran for it. They didn't want to take a chance to actually do any kind of analysis before they stole your Humic Max. And again, yeah, Justin, thanks for coming to hang out, man. Again, as far as like a great channel also to check out, if you guys are looking for like cool season content, because you guys know I'm mainly a warm season guy, but like Princess Cut Lawn Care or Lawn Whisperer, Justin, they also all do really, really good content on cool season turf. So definitely check them out. They got really good content. So definitely give Justin some love as far as that. Thanks for coming to hang out, sir. Really appreciate it. And we have the man, the myth, the legend, the troublemaker forever. You know, the man that's been around, the lawn father, we'll say, the lawn troublemaker, Alan Hain, the lawn care nut. Alan, I got to get you back on the stream again, man. You came in like New Year's Day. We got to get you back on here so you can, you can drop some knowledge on us. And, when I talk about like core aeration, you can just smile at me and say, so cute, Ron. You don't, all the pain you're putting yourself through. So yeah, I mean, you got to come on the show again. Let us know what's going on in the world of yard mastery, what you got, what plans are for the fall, and all this kind of stuff. It'd be cool to have you on. I promise I will not like try and drag you out for the entire like 3 or 4 hours. Like we'll just do like an hour segment. I'll limit it to an hour segment. How about that? And then we'll have to get you on here. But thanks for coming to hang out, sir. Really appreciate it. Very, very good stuff. All right, Paul Anderson says, first time viewer here. Glad I found this. Ron, where are you located? I am located in Northeast Georgia, Paul, like near the Gainesville area. So if you're looking at my lawn and wondering like where, it does a lot of what this guy's doing, would it apply to where I am in the country? The temperatures of Georgia. So that is where I am. And I appreciate you coming in. Thanks. It's always nice meeting new viewers and coming to hang out. So hopefully you're finding the content useful. And I definitely appreciate having you. All right, next up we got Jay Johnson says, what's the best pre-emergent for Poa annua, and when should I apply it? So best is subjective, right? I can tell you some that are effective. Prodiamine works for POA. Dimension or dithiopyr will also work for POA. If you're trying to get into some of the more Cadillac or some of the more expensive pre-emergents, there's one called Spectacle Flow. It's a really, really good pre-emergent. It's expensive, but it's really good. Has long coverage. This year, I'm also going to be trying one out. Jay Johnson called Coastal. So what that one is it's got the same active ingredient, like it's got prodiamine in it as the pre-emergent, but it also has imazaquin and simazine. So it's got two other herbicides that allow you to spray it as a pre-emergent a little bit later in the season, because the time to do pre-emergent for the fall is September-ish, thereabouts. But with Coastal, you're able to put it down, or in theory anyway, from the research I've been doing, you're able to apply it a little bit later in the season and still get a good result. Supposedly, it's like poor man's Spectacle Flow in the sense that you get the control of like POA, but without the super crazy cost and without some of the stunting that can happen with some other pre-emergents that were tested in this study. So if you're looking to try that out, that's what I'm going to be rolling with this year. And I think I've got a link for that, and I'll put it here in the chat for you so you can check that out. But yeah, Coastal is what I'm going to be using. The time to apply that one, you can do October, November. I think from the study that I was looking at, that's the time that you can roll with that. But really, prodiamine is a good choice. Dithiopyr / Dimension is a good choice. And there's several others. I'm sure there's other people going to chime in on some other pre-emergents as well that can work well. I'm trying to also talk and get you the link here for Coastal if you decide to go that route, because that is literally prodiamine and some other post-emergents. All right, yep, I found it. Here we go. Boom. So at Jay Johnson, there you go, and boom. Coastal, that's the one. So take a look at that. Take a look at that one. Take a look at the label. And I reached out to do my own, and they actually they made the small one available, because the before is only available in 2.5 gallons, which is way too much. So you can actually get it in a smaller container now, which is better for home lawns. So check that out and let me know how it works out. All right. Next up, we got Skinny Geek 10. He says, Kelby, I'm in Central Texas, and I actually had armworms in my kitchen. Not how they got in there. Not good. Not good, man. Creepy crawlies in the house is never a good thing. All right, so Alex B, thank you, sir. He says, let's get some more likes started for Ron, consistently putting in long hours for us most every week. Yeah, man, that would be great. It would be nice. We're at the top of the hour. Would appreciate the support. It's free for you guys to support the channel. Sends good vibes to the algorithm, and gives me a sip really to sip drink up my lemonade. So if you guys want to do that, I would really appreciate it. Gotta love it. Gotta love when you guys touch the like button ever so gently. Not hard. Don't smash it. That's a Graham Stephan thing. You know, I want you just to touch it lightly. It just works just as well if you just touch it lightly. And Alan's in the house. Yep. Thanks so much, Alan, for coming to hang out. And Fabian Fierro says, do you have to water during dormancy? No, not really. Fabian, the thing is around here in Georgia anyway, when wintertime rolls around, things get cold obviously, but we also get more rain. We get a lot of rain during the winter months. And also into the spring. So there's really not a need to put water on or to run irrigation, or I never do. I mean, some people might run irrigation, but the grass is not growing. So, you know, why water it? Normally just what you get from rainfall is enough to keep things in good shape. So no, in my case, I do not water when the lawn is dormant. I don't know if some areas of the country where people still do that. I mean, maybe like if you were in Arizona, maybe, but I don't, again, the grass is not actively growing. So like its water needs are just going to be a lot lower than like right now when it's, you know, getting beat to death by the sun and it's just actively growing. So yeah, great question. All right. Alex B says, I used granular hydrotane twice this season, about 6 to 7 weeks apart. And we had a very wet mid-July until now, and I didn't get any fungus on my lawn at all. Cool. That's a cool observation, Alex. So I don't know that there's a correlation between, or you can correlate it. That's what you're doing. You are correlating it. I don't think that you can necessarily say that applying hydrotane prevents lawn fungus. I'm not sure you can make that connection. I can tell you it's a good point though, because I did put hydrotane down on my back lawn, but it looks great. It's a little bit of heat stress. I didn't have any fungus issues in the back lawn at all. But I don't think it's because of hydrotane. I think it's more so because I put down fungicide in June. Like that's probably a big part of it. And then I also limit the watering, right? Like a big part of the fungus problems that people have is from overwatering. And I'm going to show you guys if you want to see how quickly a lawn can get a really nasty result from fungus from putting too much water on it in addition to the rain. Check out the video that I'm going to be releasing on Sunday that's going to actually show you what I did in my front lawn just in the space of a couple of weeks by going to a daily watering schedule. So cool to try out. I'm glad your lawn's doing well. My back lawn's also doing really well too. So hydrotane is, again, to your point, it's a great product. Just got to keep it in stock. Just got to keep the granular in stock anyway, right? The liquid's been pretty good, but the granular is a little bit rough. All right, James Hogan says, would love if you do a segment on wild violets. I'm struggled with trying to get rid of them. So I'll have to do some research on that, James. I want to say that Spectracide is labeled for wild violets. I think Celsius is too. I'd have to look here really quick. I can chat and type at the same time. But I want to say that Celsius will also has violets listed on the label as well. So I mean, it'd be interesting to find out like what you've tried and I guess what you've tried so we can know what to go to next. I don't know if there's any herbicides that's specific for targeting wild violets, but let's see here. According to Certainty, yep. Violets, field violets are on the label. So if that's what you're dealing with, it's labeled for that. And Spectracide is also labeled for violets as well. So give Spectracide a shot first. That's a cheaper option if you don't know what I'm talking about. It is this guy here. So if we go up here and I'll take a look, I'll switch over. So if you go to your big box store of choice or Home Depot, you will they will have this on the shelf. It's not going to be that inexpensive. It's a good product to try out as far as hitting the violets with it. Only thing you got to be careful with is if the temperatures are high, you don't want to use this because it will discolor your grass. Certainty, I just checked the label while we were talking, and it is labeled for wild violet, or it is labeled for violet. But as far as the negative to it is just the cost, right? It's a lot more expensive than Spectracide is. So start with Spectracide if you want, and then if that doesn't work for you, move on to Certainty and see how that does. Okay, next up, we got VMH in the house. He says, I sprayed Celsius around 3:30 p.m. at the temperature around 91 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll see how it pans out. Yeah, yours will be a good, interesting test, VMH, because in addition to spraying it when it's in the 90s, you also put in, methylated seed oil, use MSO with it as well too, right? So that as far as something that can add or can increase the likelihood of stressing the grass, like that's something. So I definitely want to hear how the lawn does. So definitely come back next week and let us know, sir. Inquiring minds want to know. All right, Lavendi says your AV setup for live streams is top notch. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. It's taken a while. If you look at my live streams from around this time last year, I think this is like live stream 50. I think 50 or 51, whatever. We're almost at a year. We're getting close. They didn't look anything like this. So I fixed lighting, fixed the camera. I mean, the camera's all right, but then like just spruce things up a lot by learning about what a live stream is supposed to look like when it's done well, like lighting stuff. So I appreciate it, man. It's fun. Also, I can make better content for you guys, and it's so you guys enjoy the experience more. So very, very, very cool stuff. All right, and then Austin Singleton says, I did watch the video on Sunday. Great content. Planning to pick all of it up. The sprayer is kind of pricey though. I would like to get a battery operated sprayer because of consistency. Why that one? So here's the thing. As far as a battery powered sprayer goes, so I do show the Flow Zone. I talk about that one a lot, mainly because it's the one that I've liked the most, right? As far as like, I've tried like the, I've never used the Ryobi or any of the ones from Home Depot, but I've used like the Chapin, which is one that served me pretty well. But the thing I like about that one, about the flow zone, is that it's the build of it, right? So it's a lot of metal construction. It's got the quick disconnect for it. But now here lately, we have a new contender that is popped in, and I think I can send you a link here for it. So the nice folk over at Yard Mastery, I think. Let me see if I think I've got that. I think I've got it here. I can pull that up. Yep, backpack sprayer, and boom. Yeah, so the nice folk over at Yard Mastery have recently released a backpack sprayer that in many ways is like the best of both worlds, right? So it has the same build construction as the Flow Zone, but they also include tips, right? So if you're ever going to go spend a bunch of money on sprayer tips, I don't have any around here. I think I put them. Yeah, I got one right here. So normally, in addition to you buy the sprayer, and if you're really trying to get super hardcore with your applications, then you have to go out and then buy a tip to really optimize that, right? So some of the TJet tips. So what Alan and them have done is they've solved that problem. Like they include, I think 3 different tips with it. And I'll show you here what it looks like. I'm going to pull it up. I want to make sure I got it. Yep. And boom. So this sprayer, it's a little bit cheaper than, it's actually quite a bit cheaper. It's probably $30, $40 cheaper than the Flow Zone. You can actually get it. And this guy includes or has the same build quality. It's got the battery compartment in the back. I will be doing a review on this at some point. I've actually got one sitting right there. You guys can't see it, but I've got one sitting right there. So I'll be doing a review on it at some point to give you guys my thoughts. I'll probably do like a side-by-side between the other ones and let you guys know. But the nice thing about this one is that it includes the tips. Like a lot of the tips you're going to go out and spend another $30, $40 on, you get it with this sprayer, right? So if you're looking for another option, this is the one that I would go with, right? So if you like the Flow Zone, you like that style, but you want something that is a little bit cheaper, but also has also comes with an assortment of spray tips that are really good for us DIY guys. It's worth checking out, and I'll put a link here in the chat for you. So there you go. That'll take you to that backpack sprayer. It's gonna save you some money versus getting a Flow Zone, which you really can't get them right now, and piecing it together. And the thing about that they did right with that sprayer, and again, I had no input whatsoever into this. Not that Alan and them need care what I think, right? But the nice thing about that sprayer they chose to go with is they did the toggle switch. They did like the two switch system, right? To where like it's a low setting and a high setting. There's none of this dial stuff, which I'm just not a fan of, because you never know what the setting is. You don't know what kind of pressure you're putting out. So it's either high or low, and I like it. Simple, easy, less stuff to break. So yeah, and I'll be doing a review on that at some point. But if you're just looking for a good sprayer, that is the one that I would recommend. Mainly because you're going to save yourself some money by not having to buy anything else to be able to use it. Very cool, very good question, and thank you so much for watching the content. I really, really do appreciate the support. Let's see what else we got. We got here. Lavendi says that glyphosate is used to kill wild Bermuda and Scots Provista tolerant St. Augustine grass. What else can be used instead? There are other herbicides. I don't think Fusilade will work. Maybe Fusilade will work in Bermuda. I might be confusing it in St. Augustine to eliminate Bermuda ain't St. Aug. I'll have to check the label on that. I know it will work for or it'll work for eliminating. Actually, no, I'm confused on that. It'll work for eliminating St. Augustine in Zoysia, but for Bermuda, that's a good question. I'm not sure. If you're using glyphosate and it's working well, like if you have the Provista, the same stuff that Alan has, that's tolerant to glyphosate. I mean, while you can still use it, why not? While you can use it, that's like glyphosate is tried and true as far as like knocking Bermuda back, and it's inexpensive. So if you've got the Provista, you got a way to you got grass that's not going to die from spraying glyphosate on it, then go for it. Then go for it. All right, let's see. RCR 2023 here says, "Hey, hi Ron, Ronaldo here from PR. I'm dealing with 7.7 pH clay soil, which is causing my." He said it's halting your zoysia from growing horizontally and vertically. I'm adding fast-acting sulfur and liquid aerator. Sounds like a plan, Ronaldo. So it's gonna be a process for you, right? Because 7.7 is quite a bit up there. That's fairly alkaline. Just what you're dealing with. Just realize that it's going to be a constant process. Probably over a couple of seasons to slowly work that pH down to a nice area, to the Goldilocks zone, the mid 6s, where the grass is going to perform better, nutrient uptake is better, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like what you're doing is a good option. Some sulfur, liquid aerator. Look into citric acid too. The guys over at My Soil have put together, like, doing some really good work. They're doing the Lord's work as far as when it comes to soil testing and saving us in the DIY community from having to do it ourselves. They're doing a really cool series. See if I can have it here. I think I have it. Where they're doing soil pH. You need to watch this video. You'd really like that. They do a video where they are testing alkaline soils and acidic soils, and they're showing applying like lime to like low pH soils, and then elemental sulfur and citric acid to high pH soils, and they're tracking it over time to see how the soils respond and move towards that mid area, towards the mid 6s where grass tends to do well. I'll send you a link to that here. I'll put it in the chat. I think you'll really like that. It's not too propeller head. It's not crazy, like hard to understand. The way they explain it is really, really well done. Video's really well shot. I think you'll like that given what you're dealing with. But just know that it's going to be a process. You know, if you do a test, 4 months from now, or even 6 months from now, and it's only moved a little bit, as long as it's moving, just keep doing what you're doing. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. And you said, I love my soil. Good. I'm good because you love your soil. It'll love you back. It'll produce great grass. And he says, and I love my soil and humic and fulvic acid. Do you think I should keep the zoysia taller than 1.5 inches until I resolve the pH issues? I mean, it depends. So height of cut RCR or Ronaldo is really based on your time, right? How much time you have to mow. And really 1.5 inches is a good height for zoysia. I mean, you don't necessarily need to go lower than that. If you want to, you can, but 1.5 inches is going to look nice. What kind of zoysia you said? You said have Xeon? I didn't see what you said zoysia. Okay, but it doesn't really matter. I would maintain it at 1.5 inches. If it's looking good, there's no reason to stress it or push it even further by cutting it lower. And just keep working on your pH issues and your soil issues over time. Because at 1.5 inches, if you're real mowing it, it probably looks better than most of the lawns in your neighborhood. So just keep doing what you're doing, man. I wouldn't change it up too much. All right, and I agree with you, Alex. He says, I'm sure we'll be fine without the glyphosate. I was never comfortable handling or using it, but I got good results with renovations using it. If used properly, does not disturb the soil much. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I haven't done a lot of research into like some of the lawsuits that they had to go through with glyphosate. But it's like anything else. I think if you're wearing the proper PPE, like if you're not out there spraying it in like sandals and shorts and no gloves, if you are covered up properly, like you really should be for anytime you're applying any kind of herbicide, you can likely use it very safely, right? But it's more so maybe they didn't do an adequate job warning people, and that's where the issue came from. But yeah. It definitely has a space as far as burning down lawns. I get what you're saying, saying there, Alex. All right. Jason A says, hey, Ron, currently building a home. Congrats on building a new place. He says, what recommendation to prep prior to the builder laying down sod? I'm thinking I should pick up any construction debris and possibly put down Carbon Pro. Yeah. So here's the thing. It depends, because sometimes, or a lot of times anyway, until you actually close on the house, they may or may not allow you to do very much. Like they may not want, because the house technically still belongs to the builder until you sign the paperwork, right? But if the builder's cool with it, like you're definitely committed to it. I mean, you're definitely going to buy the place, or you're building it yourself. That could be something. I'm assuming you're using a builder, but assuming the builder's cool with that. Yeah, getting rid of the construction debris is a great idea. And putting down either Carbon Pro G or Essential G, also a great idea. Prior to the DIY community, us starting to talk about like Essential G and talking about and Carbon Pro and using it to really improve our grass, like the way that was that product was really marketed and how it was really used a lot, at least what the guys at Site One were telling me, is whenever people had like high value lawns, like someone was putting in like a really expensive lawn, like they're maybe putting a zoysia lawn or something nice, or they're putting in really high value ornamentals, so something like a Japanese maples, like an expensive tree where they really wanted to take, they don't want it to die. That's when they would go out and they buy a bag or two of Carbon Pro, put that down prior to either planting the ornamental or prior to putting the sod down, because it really does help with rooting, right? So yeah, if you can do those two things, picking up the debris, absolutely. Because I'd rather you deal with the debris now than later after you have your sod down. And then, yeah, putting down some kind of, compost with biochar. I'm a big fan of Essential G or Carbon Pro G. Either one of those will work well. Congrats on the new house, and let us know how it works out. All right, Ernest Mungai is back. He says, mushrooms on the lawn prior to sod It was 4 inches of mulch. I topped with 2 inches of screen topsoil, then sod. Every morning, the lawn is like a white mushroom blanket. Should I worry? Yeah, it's a lot of mushrooms, man. It sounds like you put down a ton of organic material, which is why the mushrooms are coming in. I don't know. I mean, in most cases for me, Ernest, mushrooms, the 1 or 2 that may pop in on the lawn, they pop up, and then by 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning, once a little bit of heat comes in, they die off and wilt away. I have never treated my lawn specifically for mushrooms. I've never actually gone after them or put it down any kind of a treatment specifically to target mushrooms. So it sounds like you just did a lot of stuff to your lawn. Once everything settles out, if you give it a few more weeks, it should begin to fall off. If not, and it's really bugging you, we can look into some options. But I've never really treated my lawn for mushroom issues. I just kind of let them, let them be for the most part. So no, if you're asking me, I would not worry about it. I really wouldn't. I never have, and it's not really been an issue. All right, and then Alex B chiming in again says, "Hey, make sure you don't hide any big rocks or debris in there." After Ron's fairly recent video on the subject, I found a big rock in a struggling spot at my yard. That's a good point, guys. It's something for you guys to think about. If you have a part of your lawn that's just struggling, it's not doing well, and it's like you're doing everything else right. Like the grass is just always thin there. It's not a bad idea to do the screwdriver test. Like get a long Phillips or flathead screwdriver, stick it down and see if it stops. I mean, really you want, 8 inches or more ideally, so that the grass has plenty of soil to root into and just to grow unimpeded. But yeah, you'd be surprised how much trash you'll find in your lawn if you actually look. So something to look into if you have some struggling parts of your lawn. All right, Tom B has a question about fungus. He says, "Hey Ron, during warmer months, will cutting your lawn more frequently prevent fungus growth? How does cutting height affect the risk for fungus? Lower, better, worse, indifferent?" I don't know. I mean, lawns that are mowed shorter. I guess I should say this. I would say that the risk of fungus problems or things like Pythium do go up somewhat when you have like turf that's very well maintained, when it's cut short consistently a lot. But it's really more, but fungus problems are really more related to heat and moisture, or in some cases excessive fertilization. Like those things can cause that. The back lawn, I'll give you a perfect example. The back lawn, at some point, I was cutting it during the summer. I was cutting it every single day. So I was cutting it a lot. Cutting probably more than most people are mowing their lawns during the warm months. And I have no fungus problems in the back lawn whatsoever. In the front lawn, I did an experiment, which you guys will have to wait till Sunday to see what that experiment was. And I was also mowing it on the same cadence as the back lawn. And I started having an issue in the front lawn, the same mowing. So same mowing in the back lawn, same mowing in the front lawn. Only the front lawn had a problem. And I will tell you in that video like what I switched up and how it produced the issue. So I think most fungus problems, Tom, are probably more due to over-fertilization and over-watering, especially when temperatures get higher. As far as like mowing, like cutting your grass short, being a direct result or being a direct driver of fungus problems, not so much. It's really more so. It's more so like putting too much water on your lawn. Is really the big thing. So hopefully that helps. All right, next up we got the lawn mentors in the house. What's going on, lawn mentors? Hey Ron, happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. Thanks for coming to hang out in the live stream in the show as always. I'm just looking here. I got someone texting me. All right. Next up, we got Super TA in the house. What's going on, Super TA? He says, "Hey Ron, I'm late, but you're here." He says, "But the like button is smashed like every live stream since the first one. I really appreciate that, Super TA. You've been around for a long time, and I really appreciate the consistent support. So thanks for the support you give to me, but also I sometimes see you in when I look at content on other channels, I see you also there as well too. So thanks so much for being supportive. It's really disheartening to put together a lot of work into a piece of content and then nobody watch it. So your support means a lot to not only to me but to other people in the lawn care space. So keep it up. Okay. Dwayne Hopkins says, "Hey Ron, I have to say I'm really enjoying your stories on YouTube Mobile. I appreciate your sense of humor with commentary when cutting the lawn plots." Yeah, man. So Dwayne, I figured I would change it up a little bit. It's fun because I do talk to my grass. I mean, I'm sure you guys talk to your grass too. I do talk to my grass, and I figured why not just, when I'm sitting there grooming it or cutting it, why not just talk to it while I'm doing the YouTube stories? So for those of you guys that don't know what Dwayne's talking about, a couple times a week, mainly on the weekends, I do like the short 15-second clips on YouTube. It's only on mobile, I believe. You can only get it on mobile, where I'll be on the back lawn. I'll show you guys like some behind the scenes stuff. Like if you wanted to see what the crabgrass looks like after being sprayed with Celsius, if you're following my stories, you've already seen that. But also when I'm cutting the 3 grass plots, like the Bermuda plot, the ryegrass plot that's dead now, the Bermuda plot, and then also the Zoysia plot, we have a good time just cutting up and having a good time with that. So if you're interested in that, watching a grown man talk to grass, check it out. Be sure to check it out. All right, we got a super chat here. Let me scroll down and grab that really quick. We got one from CR in the house.
Super chat received.
Says, great information. Thank you very much. You're very, very welcome. Very welcome, CR. Thanks again. I got another super chat that I missed. I got to come back and get some of these. I'm working my way back up. LG.
Super chat received.
He said, the 7 o'clock Lemonade Blake has been sponsored by Site One and viewers like you. Go Chiefs. I'd say go Chiefs. I better hope they don't run into Brady again this year. We'll see. I mean, you know what? Why am I even starting? Because a lot of you guys are diehard about your football team. I'm not trying to start a football war here. But yeah, I mean, the Chiefs. You gotta hand it to them. They did really well last year until they ran into that goat. Right? And then Ben Raham's in the house.
Super chat.
He says, it may have been the beer flavored lemonade that made the stripes crooked. The lawn is still recovering from triplet quinclorac mix. Should I water? No, just give it time. Watering too much is likely bound to introduce problems. It's going to probably hurt things more than it helps. Just let the grass grow through it. Just let the grass grow through it is what I would recommend. All right, let's see what we got here. And then Doug M is giving another option for sedges. He says that, hey, katana, that's another one. Jason Krill, on his channel, he talks about katana a lot. He just has smoked trouble sedges in my lawn. FYI, you may want to consider it. I believe it's only labeled for spot spraying on residential lawns, though. So yeah, that's an option. Again, Certainty will, as far as like sedges, Certainty will smoke all of them. Sedgehammer works also really well too, but you have another option there from Doug M in Katana. I'm not sure, Doug M, because I think Jason was talking about using Katana to spray out ryegrass. Like if you overseed your Bermuda with rye, using it as an option to spray it out in the springtime. So I want to think you can blanket spray it, but I know I have to check the label. I will defer to you that it's only for spot spraying. But I appreciate you chiming in. Sir. All right, Alex B has a question about broadcast spreaders and granular carbon. He says, Ron, is Essential G able to spread with most broadcast spreaders? I remember Carbon Pro G, I had to borrow my friend's spreader as it did not spread well with the broadcast spreader I had. Yeah, so as far as prill size go, Essential G is a little bit finer, so a little bit smaller prill than Carbon Pro G. So out of an earthway spreader, it flows absolutely great out of those. I think LG has a Scott spreader, and I haven't had any complaints from him about it going out of his spreader well. So yeah, Essential G as far as, and if you know what I'm talking about, I'll show you that here. Essential G as far as an option for granular carbon, it works really, really well in out of broadcast spreaders. I've not heard any issues from people with it clumping up or doing anything weird like that. So this is the product that Alex B is talking about, and it goes great out of most spreaders. The nice thing about this is that even though you've got like the earthway spreaders on the label, I've gone through and got some calibration information for you guys also here for Scott's. So if you have like a Scott spreader, we also got you covered here. So if you just come to the Golf Course Lawn Store, we got you covered as far as other options as well for other spreaders outside of what's on the label. And yeah, it spreads beautifully, Alex B. No issues whatsoever. And I think, to be fair, I think that Mirimichi Green has corrected that problem with the clumping in Carbon Pro G, right? I actually got a bag of Carbon Pro G here recently, and it's also fine. The Prill is not as fine as Essential G, but it it flowed really nicely. There was no issues with clumps or chunks in it or anything like that. So yeah, hopefully that will help. All right, Zav19 says, hey Ron, when are you planning to put down like coastal and at what rate? Those questions will be answered in the video that's going to be coming up. As far as when, probably October timeframe is what I'm thinking. Zavi 19. As far as rates, I have to go through the label and figure out exactly what rate I'm going to use for putting it down. Because the thing is, I always try and do too, right? Is whenever I make a video on herbicides, and you guys notice I actually don't do that much content on herbicides. Most of the stuff is around like mowing and top dressing and those kinds of things. When I make a video on herbicides, I try to tend to err as far as the rates that I show being used on the lower side, because most people don't listen. They think more is better. So I need to look at what the label suggests and see what I'm actually going to talk about in the video to make sure you're still going to get a good result. But people that that pour a little bit heavy aren't going to also damage their lawns in the process. But yeah, I promise you will definitely know with plenty of time to be able to get your coastal and to put it down. Promise you on that. All right, next up we got Travis Winston in the house. He says, late to the show. Good evening, Ron and Golf Course Squad. Happy Friday to everyone. What's going on, Travis? Thanks for coming to hang out. Hope your lawn is doing well, sir. I appreciate it. I have like the man, the myth, the legend. I always say that, but we got Mr. Josh Habib in the house here. Got to come down and get that super chat. As always,
Super chat received.
He says, happy Friday, Doctor. Go Bills. I guess you're a Bills fan, right? Okay, yeah. The Bills were actually pretty good last year. We'll see how they do this year, right? We'll see how they do. I think they their quarterback actually was they could have easily gone further than they did. They had a pretty good team last year, so we'll see how they do. I can guarantee you the Falcons aren't going to be in the Super Bowl. They just won't. And even if they do make it, they'll blow the lead somehow or whatever. You can tell I'm still a little bit salty about that, right? A little bit salty on the Falcons, but yeah. All right, next up, Dwayne Hopkins. He has some questions about, I think, let's look at Spurge here. He says, hey, Ron, I finally had some cooler temps in the 90s. I've been battling Spurge for about a month and finally had cool enough temps to apply Spectracide weed killer. How long does it take to work? 7 to 10 days, you should start seeing it yellowing up pretty nicely, Dwayne. So yeah, as long as you sprayed it, you did it at rate, you did a good job applying it. 7 to 10 days, you start seeing it it yellow. Here's the thing, guys, you have to realize when it comes to herbicides, right? You have a choice. You have a choice really when it comes to herbicides. Like you can get the ones that work really, really fast. They work fast, but they also tend to discolor the lawn more. Like something like Dismiss. Like a Dismiss and Speed Zone combo is a really good combination for killing like most weeds in warm season grass, but it's gonna discolor your lawn. Like your lawn's gonna take a beating from it. And if you want fast, you can get that, but with that you also get discoloring. So that's why I recommended the Celsius Certainty combo, because you can spray it, when temps are higher. It takes a little bit longer to work, but it's not gonna smoke your lawn right in the process. It's not gonna make your lawn look super ugly in the process. But yeah, let us know how it works out, Dwayne. It should be 7 to 10 days. You should start seeing it yellow. Just let me know how it works out. All right, Ryan Knight is up saying, should I spray my neighbor's nutsedge crop? That's nice. You didn't say weed. You said crop, like he's trying to grow it. Like he's trying to grow nutsedge. I'm afraid of it encroaching soon. I don't know. I wouldn't spray your neighbor's nutsedge without asking them. You don't want to be spraying anyone else's lawn without their permission. You know what I mean? You don't want to be doing that. I would definitely definitely at the line of demarcation, at your domination line, I would be laying something down there for sure. So it stays out of your lawn. If you use something like, again, there's so many options for nutsedge. Like Image will work well. It's a little bit slower. Sedgehammer works well. Sedgehammer actually works pretty well and it's not terribly slow. Certainty works well for a lot of sedges. It covers, it's as far as like something that will kill like most sedges, Certainty is the way to go. But yeah, I would just spray your part of the lawn unless you get your neighbor's permission. I would ask them to say, hey man, do you mind if I spray like 6 inches into your lawn to make sure you're not going to grow into mine? And they'll probably be fine with it. But you want to ask first for sure. All right. Jeff Lee says, what is your schedule for pre-emergent? What other pre-emergents are you alternating prodiamine with? Great question. So normally what happens is in the spring, it'll be prodiamine, and then in the fall, in past years, it's been Spectacle Flow. This year, there was no prodiamine in the spring because I was seeding the lawn with Arden 15. So I got no pre-emergent on my lawn at all. Like this spring, I paid for it because I've got crabgrass and some other weeds in my lawn. But this fall, it's going to be, I'm going to try out a pre-emergent / post-emergent called Coastal. That's what I'm going to try out this year. As far as timing on that, for the springtime, there's a couple different ways of looking at this, right? So springtime, you can either do one heavy app, like what we did on Alex's lawn. With his lawn, we did an experiment. We said, you know what, most people say apply pre-emergent late February, early March. But what happens if you apply it a little bit earlier? So on his lawn, we literally applied pre-emergent, if I'm not mistaken, like the first week of February, like maybe the last week of January, first week of February. We did it much earlier than most people do it. And we did it at full rate, right? So we used our annual allocation of prodiamine in the spring in one application on his lawn. And his lawn is completely weed free. Like he had issues with spurge, no issues with spurge, no issues with anything else. Like it really worked to controlling weeds in his lawn this summer. That means this fall, we're gonna have to switch to something else. So on his lawn, it's probably gonna be dithiopyr, also known as like, dithiopyr is the active ingredient, but you'll see it called, I think Dimension is the brand name for it. That's what we'll probably be using likely on Alex's lawn. And then on my lawn, because I put nothing down, I'm going to be using prodiamine along with simazine and imazaquin in that combination called Coastal. And again, that one I'm going to do a little bit later than most people do pre-emergent. I'm going to do that like October-ish, because even if I get a little bit of germination of like POA is starting to come in a little bit, that's what those post-emergents in there are in that product for, to knock those out. And hopefully will give me enough coverage to take me into the spring. We'll see. We'll see. So hopefully that helps. Jeff Lee, as far as pre-emergent options, but there's different ways of doing it. Some people do the split app. Some people will do, they'll do like a partial app, like in late February, early March, and then April when soil temps cross like 65, 70 degrees, they'll do another half of their prodiamine application. Like that works well. That strategy can work really well too. With Alex, we just did one app, super heavy, and not super heavy, but full rate, one application, and that worked well. We had a really good result with it. And that's even with us top dressing and aerating his lawn. He still has no weeds in his lawn. So it can work. It can work really, really well. So yeah, hopefully that gives you some options, some things to try out. But your mileage may vary. But to your point, just mix it up. Mix it up. Trying a different one in the spring and from the fall is a good idea. Great idea. All right. Jay Johnson says Pabst Blue Ribbon. Ron, PBR. Man, the hipster beer, man. The hipster beer. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon. Yeah, I don't drink PBR, so I didn't resonate with me. See, I lost my cool card, right? You can take away my hipster card, because I didn't know what PBR was off the top of my head. All right. Next, Jeff Lee has another question, a follow-up about mowers, about real mowers more so, a question a topic near and dear to my heart. He says, also, I think you said you have a GM 1600. What size lawn do you have? I'm trying to see if I want a 1000 or a 1600 for a 6,000 square foot lawn. So my lawn now is like, I say now because a fence was put in and a neighbor cut off some of it, is probably closer to like the 11,000 square foot range, somewhere like that. 10,500, 11,000, something like that. Yeah, the 1600 works great for that size. For your size, man, with a 6,000 square foot lawn, you can go either way. The thing I would consider, Jeff, is, do you want the wider stripes or do you want thinner stripes? The 1600 is 26-inch width of cut, I think, if my memory serves me right. So if you want the wider stripes, that's a good option. The nice thing about going with the smaller one, though, the 1,000, is that as far as like mowing around obstacles, a little easier. As far as maneuverability, a little easier. So, it's always a trade-off. But the one thing I might consider if you're on the fence is what kind of stripe action do you want? Because, you want the wider stripes or do you want the narrower stripes? With a 6,000 square foot lawn, either one will work well. But just another consideration, another thing to drop into your selection process as far as 1,600 or 1,000. Either one's going to be a great choice, though. All right, Chris Brocker is up next. He says, cooler temps in the lower 90s. This is bad. Yeah, that is bad, man. It's funny. I've been talking with a viewer he's in Arizona, and his lawn's been taking a beating, man. Like those guys, like the temps consistently in the hundreds. And it's just really hard to keep grass looking good when temps are that high, without running. Even with watering, it's still challenging. And so yeah, 90s, it's hot, but Bermuda still is doing pretty well. Like my lawn looks okay, Alex's lawn looks all right, but I mean, it is like it's not as pristine for sure as like say June, early July. That's when the lawn is. I think it looks its absolute best. And then this can start looking nicer here again once the temps fall a little bit, like into September, into Labor Day weekend, it'll start looking nice again. But yeah, that late July, August time frame, it's rough, man. It's rough. It grows a lot, and it's just it's a challenge to keep it looking nice. Very, very cool. Andrew says, yeah, pre-germinating was great. If I could add a pick, I would. I've been battling some big storms popping up against the weather's forecast predictions. Took 4 days to see hazing in the lawn for the KBG. First run out for me. Yeah, sounds like you did it right, though. Sounds like you got a pretty good result out of it, Andrew. So that's pretty awesome. Thanks for sharing. All right, next up, we got Trin Dave in the house. He says, hey, Lawn Nuts. Says, I have a small medical procedure, so I could not mow for a week. Is it better to gradually reduce lawn height of cut to 0.75 or cut it all down to 0.75 and let alpha grass be alpha? I think you're kind of leaning more towards the latter, Trend Dave. If it were me, I would do, well, here's the thing. You know what? It depends. I should say that. It depends. Like how much are you taking off? If it was like an inch and you're going from an inch down to like 3/4 of an inch, just take it down. Like, whatever. There's no reason to like just step it down. It'll be a little bit yellow, but not so, it won't be as bad. If you're telling me that it got to like 2 inches, then, and if you have a rotary, you might want to do like an intermediate cut. So maybe take it down to, let's say an inch, like with a rotary, and bag everything. So get all those clippings out, so the lawn doesn't look like a crime scene after you're done mowing it. And then switch to the real mower and step down to 3/4 of an inch. So I kind of need to know how out of control it got while you're away for your procedure. But the long short is either strategy will work. You can just hack it all down at once, no problem with that, or you can step it down. That will work as well too. Either strategy works well. I would just get rid of the clippings if it's a lot of grass. If it's much more than like 1/4 of an inch, I would get the clippings and remove them. Otherwise, the grass is gonna look pretty ugly. All right, Stan G is in the house. He says, hello, everyone. What's going on, Stan G? We appreciate it. Thanks so much for coming to hang out. All right. Let's see. What we have here is Corporate HQ. Corporate HQ for where? He says, what's up, fam? Can you give your take on your recommended watering schedule for brand new sod for cool season in Virginia or in VA now? Should we add some starter fert, and how to, have any follow up, how to schedule? I'm not sure what you're going to say, but yeah. So for sod for the first couple of weeks, it is sod, you said, right? Yeah. First sod for the first couple of weeks, you want to keep it moist. Don't like soak it to where you're gonna, where it's like a big soppy mess. But you want the grass to have enough water on it to where it's not struggling for moisture. Outside of a starter fert, yeah, I mean, you can, if they didn't put one down when they installed it, because sometimes whenever they install sod, depending on who you had do it, they'll also apply a fertilizer to help to kickstart things. If they didn't do that, then a good starter fert option is this one. So you go to the golf course lawn store, and you scroll down here. There's the triple 12. It's at the very bottom if you're on a desktop. But this guy's a good option. So it's a triple 12 from Yard Mastery. This has 3% iron in it. And the nice thing about this, in addition to it being like a quality starter fertilizer, it has a full micronutrient stack. So normally with a starter fertilizer, all you get is just NPK, just the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. With this, you also get the micronutrients as well, and a little bit of iron that's going to help produce that deeper green. So this is a good option for your new grass. If you're going to go with this, go with the low rate. Apply it like 3 pounds per thousand. I think pretty much most Yard Mastery fertilizers, that's what what Alan and team recommend. But yeah, that's a good option for your new grass. It's primarily slow release. It's not, as long as you go on that lower rate, there's not much chance. There's practically no chance that you're going to burn your grass with it. And that is what I would go with. So, water adequately to keep the ground moist, and then applying a starter fert isn't a bad idea either. The one I was just showing you, you can get that at the golf course lawn store. So, great question. Thanks for chiming in, and congrats on the new lawn. Hopefully it roots in nicely, and you get a great looking lawn this fall to play with. You definitely picked the right time of year to do it, right? All right. Lawn Therapy's in the house. What's going on, Lawn Therapy? Says, tuned in again to smash the like button. Hope everyone's lawn is doing well. Following Ron's tips and a few of the products he has my lawn looking the best it ever has. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. Always like to hear feedback on the products. On the Humic Max fertilizer, which again, I can't stress enough, guys. If you're in the market for a quality fert, like a 1608 fert that also has some humic acid in it, it's really, really hard to beat Humic Max, man. It's a really great product. Like it took a small act of Congress to get Lebanon to sell it to us, to make it available for DIY, but they did. They made this particular one available for us for sale online. And again, in addition to the 1608, you're getting a very, very fine prill size. So for those of you guys that are already grinding hard, getting your lawns looking pretty awesome. I'm gonna show you guys the prill here in a second. You're also getting almost 9% humic acid along with this product as well. So that's why I'm a huge fan of it. Everyone that's tried it out has had great results. And if you have, I think lawn therapy, aren't you in Virginia? I think I'm not sure where you are. I might be confusing you with someone else. But if you have like real mowed turf, right? So you have grass that's a little bit mowed short or it's tighter, so the canopy's a little bit tighter. Look at the prill size on that. You see how fine that is? It's got a 150 SGN or size guide number. The nice thing about this is that a smaller prill is going to get past that dense turf, that dense canopy, and get down into the soil. So this is why another reason why I'm a huge fan of Humic Max. So, and again, available at the golf course lawn stores in stock and shipping today. So, glad. Thank you for the endorsement, Lawn Therapy. I really appreciate the feedback as always. All right, Chris Bruton's up next about a seeding project. He says, rain killed my seed project. Not good. He said he washed it, or most of it, away. I'm so distraught. I know it's late, but Texas is still hot, so I figured I'd try. Threw down some more and praying. Yeah, Chris. I mean, that's all you can do, man. I mean, here's the thing. I'm sure you lost some of the seed if it was a really super heavy rain, because I know Texas is, I mean, someone like, flushes the toilet too many times and Texas floods. I know Houston area floods really easily. But you probably didn't lose quite as much of the seed as you think you did. There's probably still some there, and you put some down. You might be surprised. You still might get some germination out of it, and you can always follow up later on with more. So don't get discouraged. Lawn care or creating the lawn you want is a process, and that's part of the fun of it. I mean, if you could just buy if you could buy a product that you could just throw on your lawn and it'd just give you a perfect lawn and it never grew, it would always look perfect. Would you really want that? I mean, you might for a while, but after a while, you kind of want to get out there and mess with your lawn, right? So, I mean, just keep going. Keep grinding. It will get better. It will get better. Just keep going for it, man. All right. Next up, we got Ryan Knight. He says, so many armyworms. Yeah, man, I'm hearing a lot of that. So there's, an insecticide will definitely help with that. If you're looking for one that is all natural, that is, you can go with the pest control from Mirimichi Green. That's also available in the golf course lawn store. It's a great product. If you're using it to treat armyworms, you're going to want to apply it at the higher rate. So 8 ounces with a gallon of water. That's the rate you're going to want to use, just like on the higher side, to control armyworms. So, but yeah, that's definitely going around this year. People have been taking a beating on that. All right, next up, Dwayne Hopkins has another question about crabgrass, controlling crabgrass. He says, hey, Ron, I've had a great year controlling crabgrass. Congrats. That's a big accomplishment. He says, but I had a couple of pieces come up this last week. Is that a sign my pre-emergent has worn off? Should I reapply or just wait till the fall? Yeah, I mean, pre-emergent, depending on everything you got going on in your lawn, is good for 4 to 5 months in like an ideal world, like prodiamine anyway. That's what you'll get out of it. Spectacle Flow, again, it being more high dollar, more of a Cadillac pre-emergent. On the label, I think they say up to 10 months of protection. But yeah, you've probably gotten your money's worth that you're going to get out of the spring pre-emergent. I would just pull it, man. If you only have a few popping in here and there, I would just manually pull them and wait till the fall and just do your fall pre-emergent. I don't know that I would put pre-emergent down right now, because whatever is growing now, it's there. Just get rid of it. Weed, pull it, and that's a strategy that'll work, especially if you are keeping your lawn shorter. That's one thing I found is I do have crabgrass in my lawn. I have some growing in here and there, but because I keep the lawn so short, like it just doesn't do well. Like it literally always looks sickly, and like it looks like I sprayed it with herbicide. Honestly, when I see some of it and I mow over it, like the next day it just looks just not healthy, not good, because its leaf is getting cut off all the time, right? So yeah, I would pull it personally and wait till the fall for pre-emergent. So worst case, if you want to spot spray with a post-emergent, you can do that, but honestly, I would just wait if it were me. All right, next up, we got Mr. Darryl Tunstall in the house. He says, Ron, real more question. I'm thinking about getting a grooved roller for my True Cut. Ooh, you would like that. They are pretty awesome. You'd like it. He says, because my lawn is so thick, the smooth roller is all over the place. Yeah, so the grooved roller, here's the thing. I have been a smooth roller guy on my True Cut for however many seasons it's been, 3 years, up until this year. This year, the nice folks at Real Rollers were generous enough. They gave me a groove roller to try out. I installed it on the mower. I didn't think it would make that much of a difference, but it really does. It really does produce a better cut than the smooth roller does. And if you're like a propeller head, like you're kind of a nerd and you want to like look at like research on this, like the USGA, the United States Golf Association, has done studies on greens, like golf greens cut with like smooth rollers and groove rollers. And they, of their opinion, groove rollers is the way to go, which is why like greens mowers, pretty much all of them have groove rollers on them. They don't have smooth rollers, right? So there's really no negative to it, Daryl. Well, I should say that. The only negative I'd say is that as far as your ability to easily turn the mower while you're making a pass, it's a little bit more work with a grooved roller than a smooth roller. But as far as the issue you're seeing now, because your turf's getting really dense, like if you guys don't know what Daryl's lawn looks like, I think I got some pictures of it here. I can actually show you. Daryl's lawn is pretty incredible. There you go. So that's Daryl's lawn from like a month or two ago when he sent me these pictures. So really dense, really tight turf. Daryl's in the Golf Course Lawn Academy. He's been doing like my whole program as far as like mowing, fertilization, the carbon products. He's doing all of it. But a byproduct of that, Daryl, as you know, or you're seeing, is the grass gets really thick and dense. So yeah, going to a grooved roller will help. That will definitely help with that some. You could also look into thinning it out. You could scarify if you want, but this late in the season, man, I would just let it be. A grooved roller is what I would go to. I think you're really going to like the results you get with that. So there's your answer. Hopefully that is helpful. And of course, I'm sure you'll let me know. All right. Happy Mo Clothing says, hello, everyone. Hello, Happy Mo Clothing. It's an interesting name and avatar. Thanks for coming to hang out in the live stream. Appreciate it. And then Alex B, right on cue, he says, around 100 watching and 70 likes at the time of this comment. Let's bridge that gap for Ron. I appreciate it. Alex, thank you so much. While I take a sip of my lemonade, if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button ever so gently, just ever so gently, I'd really appreciate it. It's free for you guys. It's a great way to support the channel, sends good vibes, gets more people coming over. Great stuff. It also lets me sip my lemonade. So I'd really appreciate it if you would do that. Awesome. All right. Next up, we have Nils is back here again. He says, wow, a lot of problems with army worms over there in the US. We don't have that problems back here in Europe. Yeah, I don't know. It might be a climate thing, Nils, or something that's to our geography where army worms are more of a thing. I'm not sure. That's a good point. I'm not sure why we have more of an issue with that than you guys do. But yeah. But it's okay. No worries. We have products. We have products to take care of them. We have the organic products in the pest control. And we got, some non-organic products. But yeah, we have ways to control those bad boys. And then Paul Anderson says, glad to see Lawn Care Nut and Lawn Whisperer on this live chat. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, man. That's when you're big time, man. When you got the Lawn Father and Justin, just the Lawn Whisperer coming to hang out for just a little bit, even just to come in and say, we have come and we have decreed this worthy of our time for a few minutes. Proceed, Ron. Even if it's just that says something, right? So, you guys don't always just messing with you guys and having a great time, but it's always fun to have the support of the other people in the community. All right. Robert Rainey says, what covers burrweed for fall treatment? I have to look into that one, Robert. I'm not sure. I don't have an answer for you on that one off the top of my head. I have to look into it, and I will have to get an answer for you. Let me. That's good. That could be my question for next week. One of the things for me to research. I'm sure there's a lot of weeds. There's a lot of herbicides that should treat it, that can kill it after the fact. But you're probably wondering about pre-emergent, I imagine, right? Is what you're asking for. All right. So let me make a note of that, and that will be one of my talking points for next week. Thank you so much. Unless someone here answers it ahead of time for me. Okay, next up we have Carolyn McLean's in the house. She says, hey, Ron, I live in the Midwest. I'm getting things ready to oversee this fall. I have a lot of weeds. What do you recommend for weeds? And good fertilizer this fall. Thank you. All right, Carolyn. Well, congrats again. Thank you for being part of the live stream. As far as herbicides for your grass, I'm not sure what kind of grass you have. Midwest, I imagine, is probably cool season grass. I would imagine where you are. So depending on how bad it is, I want to say Spectracide they have a product that is available for cool season grass. I want to say that they do have something that I'm not sure if the one that I always show you is one that will work on cool season, but they do have a cool season grass product. So let's see here. For this one, it says do not. Yep. So this one. I don't have to look at the labels to tell you for sure, but something you can find at your big box store. What you're going to find something you'll find locally at, say, Home Depot or Walmart. One of those you'll you'll be able to find a product there that should be safe for your particular grass type. I mean, as far as like a great combination that will work, for weeds on a cool season grass, like a tenacity speed zone combination, like what George Princess Cut Lawn Care shows, like that combination works pretty well. It's a bit more expensive, and you have to mix it up, right? So depending on how complicated you want to get, if you're just looking at something you can buy off the shelf, then Spectracide makes a product that should work well for your climate. But if you are looking for something, again, more professional grade, then there's like tenacity mixed with like some speed zone, has really good coverage for most weeds in cool season grass. I'll find I'll actually put the link to that in the chat for you, to his video, so you can see what I'm talking about. So let's see, at Carolyn. But this is a more extensive option. You got to have like a backpack spray to apply it. Again, you have to blend it properly. It's not hard to do. It's not really difficult. The process isn't hard, but it's just more involved than buying something off the shelf. So I'll give you two choices. Two choices there. All right. Next, Andy Zerman says, "Oh yeah, Douchey greets from the Netherlands." Douchey, man, so Douchey is something I normally hear that from people from like Curacao and Bonaire, right? That because in Papamento, which is, I think it's really only spoken in Curacao and like Curacao. That's like a dialect that's for there. Douchey is like a term of endearment. So I'm not sure if that's what you're saying, but that's what I think of whenever I hear that word. Douchey. It's a word of it's a term of endearment in like Curacao and Bonaire. It's like sweetheart. Of course, it has other connotations here in the States, but overseas, like where I'm from, it's a term of endearment. So I appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming for hanging out in the live stream. All right. And there we go. Mazama Blue says still no bugs with Mirimichi Green Pest Control. Cool. Yeah. So you're saying it worked well. Good. I'm glad to hear that, because I'm not having any insect issues on my back porch. I had like some white flies like for a while. And that's gone. Alex's tree that we sprayed also gone. So it's the product works great. And the nice thing is it's natural. You're not gonna hurt yourself, not gonna hurt pets, not gonna hurt kids. So which is really good when used as directed. I always have to say that, when used as directed. Great option. And the nice thing about the product, like I'm bringing it up here as well too, as far as your pest control, is that whereas like biphenthrin, some insects can develop resistance to it. They cannot develop resistance to this. Like this stuff, whatever it kills, it will continue to kill, right? So that's another benefit of it as well. So Donna Hale says army worms moved west. Warned y'all last week they were in Mississippi. So yeah, see, so Donna tried to warn you guys in Texas, but you guys didn't take her seriously. She put a warning out there, and now look, everyone in Texas is suffering from it. All right, next up we got JG in the house. She says, happy Friday. Y'all, lawn scalped and dethatched yesterday. Seed downtime. All right, so it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool watching all the cool season YouTubers this coming up here, because this is like your go time, right? For us warm season people, we get like a small sliver of time where we get to top dress our lawns yet again. And show you mowing and fertilization, but you guys, you're about to see a whole bunch of content now on seeding lawns and leveling projects and all that fun stuff. So should be fun times. Glad you guys got your start on that, JG. Hope it all works out well. All right, Tony Valdez says, what is the best way to lower my pH? So there's a couple options for that, Tony. You can apply like an elemental sulfur. You can use citric acid. That's an option. If you can get your hands on some Essential G or Carbon Pro G, like the biochar that's in that product is charged, so it also helps to draw pH towards the center. So if your pH is low, it brings it up to the mid-6s. If it's high, it tries to draw it also towards the mid-6s. So it's like a pH optimizer product. But as far as a great answer, even better than I could give, the nice folks at My Soil have done a video all about pH. Like literally all they talk about is pH, soil pH, how to adjust it, options for that. And I will give you that. I'll put that here in the chat for you, Tony, for you to go check out. They show like their methodology and also some of the results that they're seeing as far as how the levels are moving. But in your case, like a citric acid or elemental sulfur will work for that. But check out that video whenever you get a chance. They've done a really nice job on that one. All right. Next up, we have LG 7 o'clock Central Time. 7 o'clock Central Time. All right. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right, let's see what other last questions we got here. Pretty soon we're going to start giveaway time, guys. And just for anyone that's joining the stream, for you guys that don't know, tonight we're going to be doing 4 prizes. The first is going to be the My Soil test kit. This is one of these we're going to be giving away to one lucky winner tonight. Then there's also going to be Release 0. There's 2 samples of this. So I have 2 samples of Release 0 and NutriKelp. It's 8 ounces, so this is enough to treat like 4,000 square feet. Mirimichi Green graciously donated these to the channel, so rather than using them on my lawn, why not give them to you guys? You can give a chance to try it out. And if you like it, then you can say, hey, I really like what I got with Release 0 and NutriKelp. I'm going to get the entire golf course lawn carbon kit, which you can get at the golf course lawn store. First you've got the soil test kit. Then 2 people are going to win these. So there's going to be 2 sets of that. This is going to go out. And then finally, we're going to have the Mirimichi Green trucker hat. So if you're a big fan of trucker hats, we're going to have one of those that's going to go out tonight as well too here in a little bit once we get going. The way you have to enter to win that is you have to go to last week's live stream and comment on the name of my Bermuda Grass plot that I have in a planter. Little hint, if you don't know the answer, it's all throughout the comment section, so you can just go watch that and you can see what the answer is. But the way it's going to work, I'll use a comment picker to be able to select the winner randomly. All right. Dada K Chill says how to get rid of bent grass. Ooh, that's good. That's a good one. Bent grass is so particular that a lot of herbicides that you can spray on just warm season lawns will damage bent grass. Like Spectracide, I'm pretty sure is not labeled to be safe on bent grass. If you sprayed it with that would likely do it. I'd want to say that, but I mean, I have to look in to see if there's a particular herbicide that will kill bent grass in your lawn, but not kill the grass you have. So if you can, Dada K Chill, let us know what kind of grass you have. So like, what's the grass you want to keep? And we know that bent grass is what you want to get rid of, but it'd be helpful to know what kind of grass you have that you want to keep before giving you any kind of herbicide recommendations. Great question. All right, Robert Baker says, what's the best drought tolerant grass for the desert, Las Vegas? That's a good question. I'm not sure on that one. I mean, as far as Bermuda goes, Tiff Tough is very drought tolerant. That new one, Tahoma 31, that the lawn tools have been using, that one's fairly, that is supposed to be fairly drought tolerant. So those 2 are what I know from a Bermuda standpoint. For other grass types, I can't say for sure, but for Bermuda, Tiff Tough or Tahoma 31 are supposed to be the bee's knees as far as, you know, doing well with heat and not tipping over. Not tipping over. All right, Mickey K says, Ron Trinity is the truth, y'all. I appreciate it. Jack's in the house. What's going on, Jack? Thanks for coming to hang out for a little bit in the live stream. Lawn Masters in the live stream. And then we have Jackie Hughes, a new viewer, says, hey, I'm a relatively new homeowner with a very small lot in Raleigh, North Carolina. I just started listening to your channel. My lawn is basically weeds. What kind of fertilizer should I put down now? Jackie, if you've not, here's the thing. The best way to know what type of fertilizer is the best fit for your lawn is to use a soil test. So the one, we're going to be giving this away tonight. We're giving one away tonight, but there's one from My Soil. And what this does is they're super easy to use. I would also recommend you get the probe tool along with it, like this guy. You're going to take this, insert this in your soil in 10 to 12 different spots throughout your lawn, mix them all up so you have like one homogeneous mix that represents your entire lawn. And then in here is like a little scoop that you'll put it into, and then you'll mail it out. And then within a week, you're going to get the results. It's just going to say, Jackie, your soil has these problems with it, or has these things that you could be doing better. And that's the best way to give you an answer as far as getting the most correct answer as far as fertilizer that you apply to your lawn. If you don't care about that, or you're going to do that, but you still want something you can do now, like a starter fertilizer is always a good choice, right? There's not always, starter fertilizer cures most sins. As far as an option for that, if you go to the golf course lawn store and so the main page and just scroll all the way to the bottom here in the middle, there's a fertilizer here called with 3 numbers, 12, 12, 12. Those 3 numbers, the 12s, the 3 12s stand for the major nutrients. So it's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And this guy you could apply to your lawn, and it will help feed the lawn. So this is a good option if you just want to get something to kickstart the lawn and get it growing and doing well. But in addition to putting down fertilizer, we want to do something about those weeds as well too, right? So you said you're in Raleigh, so you you probably have warm season grass. I imagine you could have cool season grass, but depending on the kind of grass you have, we also want to put down a herbicide, so like a weed killer, to help knock those weeds back, right? Because if you just fertilize, and we don't put something down to also take the weeds back or knock them back, you're also helping promote weed growth as well too. So as a new homeowner, what I'd recommend is get a soil test. I mean, these are not that expensive, and the information you get from them is well worth their weight in gold. If you want to start applying a fertilizer now just to get started on something, you can go with the triple 12. That's a good option. And then as far as weed control, I need to know what kind of grass you have before I can recommend something in that space. But then outside of all that, so you've got the soil test, you've got the fertilizer, we're controlling weeds. The best thing you can do for your grass, the best thing is to mow your grass a lot. Like if you can get out there twice a week and mow your lawn, that is going to make a bigger difference, or in the appearance of the lawn anyway, more than anything else. So that's the biggest thing I tell you, is that if you can get out there twice a week and mow your lawn twice a week, that's going to do a lot to really help promote great looking grass. So hopefully that helps. Again, the soil test kit you can get here at the Golf Course Lawn Store. If you need some help figuring out what kind of grass you have, you can send me an email. My email is here, ron@golfcourselawn.com. Just go outside, snap a picture of it, and send it to me. Or just ask someone locally. If you like, there's lawn care guys in your area, just say, hey, what kind of grass do I have? And they'll be able to tell you. And then based on that, either come in the live stream next week, or again, you can email me and let me know, and then I can say, hey, try this herbicide for your lawn to knock the weeds back, and then you'll be good to go. So hopefully that helps. Congrats on being a new homeowner, and congrats on the new lawn, and also for taking control of your lawn. That's pretty awesome. That's a big step. It's a lot of work, but it's also a ton of fun, right? Very, very, very rewarding. So that's cool. All right, Jamaican Star NYC. So I guess a Jamaican who lives in New York. Says, and now in Georgia, I guess. He says, but I'm in Georgia and I have a Bermuda grass that is starting to get weeds. Should I start applying pre-emergence to prevent more weeds, or wait till the fall? So I covered this one already. I would not do pre-emergent now, Jamaican Star NYC. If anything, you can apply a post-emergent. So you can do something like Spectracide or Celsius, like what I was showing in the video that I linked earlier. So something like this product is a good option if you're in Georgia, because you probably have warm season grass if you're here. Like this guy, you can go pick up at your big box store. This will knock out most weeds. It can control most weeds. The only thing is, you only want to apply this if you have Bermuda grass. Zoysia is safe. You don't want to apply this if you have St. Augustine, which I kind of doubt you have in Georgia. But just to be safe, I want to make sure that you don't apply this to St. Augustine grass. That's a good option for knocking out weeds. Another option is to use something like a little more expensive, but also an option that's not going to discolor your grass, is something like Celsius. I covered that in a video that I shot earlier this week that was released earlier this week. I'll put that in the chat here for you, so you can see that. So you have a more expensive, you have like a more economical option, and you have a more expensive option. So you've got both ways to go about it. And literally in the description of that video are like everything you're going to need, as far as like from backpack sprayer to PPE to the measuring stuff to so all of it, to the herbicides, like everything you're going to need is in there. So let me get Jamaican Star NYC. That is the video. I'll put it there in the chat for you. But yeah, I would hold off on the pre-emergent until fall at this point. All right, next up, Alex B here. He says, I didn't mean to. So Alex is correcting. He says, hey, I didn't mean to say that hydrochain prevents fungus. I was saying for those concerns that hydrochain and very wet conditions could facilitate fungus, none whatsoever for me. So, okay, I understand what you're saying now, Alex B. Thank you for the clarification. So yeah, hydrochain on your lawn is not going to create fungus problems. So good. Thank you for chiming in and letting us know and for clearing that up. Very cool. So next up, Romero Harris is in the house. Has a question about Bermuda grass seeds. He says, hey, Ron, I have Bermuda lawn with Scott seeds. I have some tough areas that seed just hasn't germinated. I'm thinking about getting some Tifway 419 or Tif Tough to fill in the problem areas. Any advice? Sure, Romero. So the thing is, growing Bermuda from grass seed is literally hard mode. All right, that's the hardest way to establish a Bermuda lawn. The easiest way is kind of what you're talking about, is getting some sod and installing that. So the thing you have to ask yourself, or what I'd be most concerned about, and I want you to put some thought into this, the areas where the lawn is thin or it's not growing in very well, we need to figure out why that's the case, right? So if you've got decent soil, again, Bermuda doesn't really need great soil to grow in. It'll grow in pretty much anything. But if you've got good soil, you want to make sure you don't have any kind of a shade issue, like there's like a big tree that's putting shade on that part of the lawn, or like a heavy traffic problem. that's like causing a lot of wear faster than the lawn can recover from it. Because the thing you get to think about or keep in mind when you comes to seed is that grass seed is not like a silver bullet that will fix all problems. Like with your Bermuda lawn, anything that was causing the lawn to be thin, now after you put grass seed and if you don't change those things, it's still going to be there. So again, a good example is like shade. If you have a big tree that's putting a lot of shade there, even if you could get the grass seed to grow, it's going to be a problem. It's going to struggle, right? And as far as getting the seed to grow, I mean, the biggest problem with Bermuda is most people just don't water it enough whenever they apply grass seed. So if you weren't watering every day, at least twice a day for 2 to 3 weeks, that's probably why it didn't grow in. And as far as sod, the only negative I could tell you on that, I mean, it's far easier to fix bare spots in your lawn with sod. That's a given. The only issue you might run into is that getting it to match. Because on my lawn was Tifway 419, and I've had sod replaced in a couple of spots. And the sod was also Tifway 419, and it doesn't match. It doesn't match the existing lawn. Like it didn't match, like even before overseeding the lawn with Arden 15, the Tifway that came in did not match my existing grass. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Be ready for that. It may not match exactly. As long as you're fine with that, go for it. But again, before you go sod or seed, let's figure out why that area is thin and try and correct that. So if you got a tree, let's reduce shade in that area because again, I don't want you to go and spend a bunch of money putting sod in or trying grass seed again and then just not getting a good result. So hopefully that helps. All right. K Chill says, how to get rid of bent grass in a cool season lawn. Not sure on that. K Chill. I will put I'll add that to one of the things for me to research for next week and get an answer for you. Bent grass in cool season. I don't know off the top of my head because again, I'm mainly a warm season guy. So as far as like what herbicides are safe for cool season grass, I don't have those off the top of my head like I do the warm season ones. So I will take that one under advisement and get you an answer for next week. Great question. Thank you so much. Oh, and actually, LG's answering. Thank you, LG. I appreciate you, man. Way to come through. He says, at Dada Tenacity, follow the labels. So there you go. You didn't have to wait till next week. LG came to the rescue. So Tenacity, I guess what he's saying will knock out bent grass in cool season turf. So there you go. And then Mike Brown, as far as the person that also had the question about wild violet, triclopyr is an option as well. So that's an option that you can go with as well for your lawn. All right, and then Dave's lawn vlog says, "Do you spray esters in the south on warm season turf?" I haven't been doing that, Dave. I guess when you say esters, which ones? What are you referring to exactly? Like which ones? But yeah, for me, no, I haven't done anything like that on my lawn. But yeah, let us know in the comments below, and we will revisit it. Okay, and then so Alex B is talking about the question about the Home Depot option for herbicide. He says, yeah, Ron just showed on screen. I would use the hose end Spectracide for weeds. You can get at Home Depot for $10 for 5,000 square feet. That's the thing about the Spectracide. It's cheap, right? It's for value for money. It's actually a really, really good option. Like it's not for 10, 15 bucks. It's hard to find that suite of that combination of herbicides at a relatively attractive price as well. Let's see what else we got. We got here. As far as quack grass, Dada Wilson, you have a question here about how to get rid of quack grass in cool season. LG's chiming in because he's a cool season guy. He says for quack grass, your options are 1, dig it out, probably what I would do. 2, certainty herbicide with stunted grass, and then 3, glyphosate. And of course, number 4, live with it. I like it, LG. Great answer. Yeah, good options, man. Thanks. I appreciate that. Okay, Troy Whitley has some questions about, I guess, watering. He says, "Hey, Ron, I got some tuna cans to check for 1 inch of watering. I changed watering from Monday, Wednesday, Friday to Tuesday, Thursday. That's the schedule that I roll with. Getting some more sand tomorrow. How will I know if Bermuda needs more water? It'll start changing color. It'll start yellowing up a little bit. It'll start showing like mild signs of heat stress. But the nice thing about Bermuda, Troy, and this is true for Zoysia too, but Bermuda especially, as soon as you put some water on it, like within a day or two, it's gonna pop right back. So it's one of those grasses that you can run. I mean, you can put water on it, but like overwatering Bermuda is actually going to cause more. It's going to cause more problems than running it slightly on the drier side. And if you'll just notice it because it'll stop looking as green and just deep green, like it's going to start to fall away. And as soon as you put some water on it, it'll come back. So yeah, 1 inch. 1 inch over the course of a week. You know, if you want to go a little bit heavier, if the temperatures are really high, like we're having here in Georgia, you want to go just a touch heavier, you can do that too. But really, 1 inch per week is plenty. And for most people put more water on their grass than it actually needs. But it sounds like you're doing a good job. You're calibrating your irrigation system. So yeah, I think you'll be in great shape. All right, we got a super chat from CR. I think I already did this one, but I'll do it again anyway.
Super chat received.
I appreciate you, CR. Great information. Thank you. I appreciate the support as well. And I'm looking here at some other questions. We got to start doing our giveaway here in a second. So LG is giving me a hard time. Just we need Ron to get a real man's grass for that grass plot. I'm talking KBG. Yeah, you know that. You're right. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about doing a KBG in what was ryegrass this fall. I'm probably going to do that just so I have something to look at whenever Bermuda starts to go dormant, right? So yeah, I think it's going to happen. LG. I'll probably have another planter, so I might do another. I'll redo rye and then do another KBG, and that way, or do a KBG, and we can compare them side by side. So we'll have to come up with some names for the KBG and the ryegrass plot because it's currently dead. All right, Jordan Rockwell has a question. Says, "What's the best way to control buttonweed?" That's a good one, man. I'd imagine that one is Spectracide will probably take care of that one too. But I need to know what kind of grass you're dealing with. Jordan, because like if I tell you Spectracide, like a good example, yeah. So Spectracide is labeled for buttonweed. But if you, depending on the kind of grass you have, you don't want to spray this herbicide on it. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is really good it's a great option for Bermuda, for Zoysia, for a lot of warm season grass. I think you can also spray this on some cool season. I'm not sure if this is also rated for that as well. But buttonweed is one of the weeds that it controls, but I need to know what kind of grass you have before I say, yeah, go with this one. The thing about Spectracide that's nice is that they have a ton of options. Actually, let me come back here and I'll show you that because I don't really show that often enough. If you come back here and you go to the weed lawn killers, like I always show the orange label because that's what we normally go with here in the Southeast US. But they have a yellow bottle, and they also have a purple bottle for like people that have St. Augustine lawns. And I think the yellow bottle is the cool season version. I want to say that one is the cool season grass version. Yeah. So this is for treats bluegrass, fescue, perennial ryegrass. So yeah, so just read the label. That's the answer to your question. Go to Spectracide's website, read the label, find the one that's safe for your grass type, and go with that. That is what I would recommend, Jordan. Great question. All right. Zave19 says, at LG, it's Moro. I lost access to my other account. Sorry to hear that, Moro, but glad that you're here anyway. And all right, guys, so we're getting close to giveaway time. Actually, no, let me ask this other question from Adam Reed. He says, why are you switching to coastal? Are you having POA issues? No, I just want to try something else this fall, Adam. As far as a pre-emergent for handling POA, like Spectacle Flow is an awesome option. It's a great option, but it's just super expensive. It's really expensive. So kind of like in the vein or in the along the lines of like last year when I was showing you guys like Carbon Pro G and showing you like some of the other products I was using on my lawn that you couldn't get access to. I'm trying to make sure that if I show stuff on the channel as much as I can't do it for everything, but for as much as possible, I show products that you guys actually have access to, so you can, get, you have an option to get the same results that I'm getting, right? You can get good results without using the stuff that I'm talking about, but if some people want to use the exact same stuff that I'm using, so that's why I'm trying out coastal as an option. Plus, I've never used it before. I like to see how it works. There's some of the research shows that it works. It's a really quality pre-emergent that's not crazy expensive. So, why not? Why not give it a go? Hopefully, it controls my POA issues. But yeah, that is why I am switching. All right, and then you guys talking football. Josh Habib saying at LG, I'm going to be in KC for the Sunday night game. It's pretty awesome, Josh. That's really awesome. And then FXR Parlor has a question about rain. He says, after 4 weeks with no rain, it rained 4 days with about 5 inches recently. How soon would you start your watering schedule? Wait until the lawn dries. Lawn is on PGR and scalped. So for me, FXR, I normally water twice a week, right? So Tuesdays, Thursdays, that's my normal watering schedule is what I will run, or I'm sorry, Tuesday, Fridays. It's not true. It's not Tuesday, Thursday. Tuesday, Fridays, is what I normally do. And I run that throughout the season. So if it rains, I'll just pause the irrigation for that day. But yeah, I don't necessarily shut off irrigation and wait for the lawn to get stressed out before I put water on it. So yeah, I guess if you're waiting for the lawn to dry, you can do that. That's a strategy, but you're always gonna be chasing your tail. The lawn's always gonna be up and down. You know what I mean? So instead of doing that, what I would say is every week put some water on the lawn as long as it's actively growing. This week, obviously, we don't need to put any water on it because it got a ton of moisture. But maybe next week you can water at like half rate towards the latter part of the week, and then go back to like a twice per week watering cadence. Right? That's what I do, and it's twice per week is a good watering schedule to keep the grass relatively happy while not also also causing fungus problems, right? Not creating conditions where you're likely to introduce, or not introduce, but create conditions where lawn fungus is about to take root and fester, if that makes sense. So hopefully that helps answer your question. If not, let me know and we can revisit it. All right. So John Bowen says, what's your suggestions for the Northeast with a balance of high humidity and needing to water? Kind of like what I was just telling the last viewer, John. For your grass type, whatever your grass type needs. So in the Northeast, you guys, your grass types tend to need a little bit more water, so 1.5 inches of water or so per week. That is what I would try to get on the lawn. Some of it, what you're dealing with here in the Northeast, is with summer temps high. This is the time when a lot of your grass is just not going to look that great, because between the high temperatures, some of the lawns are going to try to fall into like mild dormancy to get away from the heat. So some of what you're going through now can't necessarily be fixed with just water. But as far as the best way to answer your question is, I would put the amount of water on your lawn each week based on what is correct for your grass type. Also factoring in how much rainwater you're getting. Okay, so I have actually a video that I'm actually most proud of on watering that actually talks about that in a little bit more detail than what I just said. So what I'll do is I will get the link here for you, John. Take a look at that. It actually tells you like how to figure out, even in your area, your zip code, how much water that your area typically gets for the time of year. So you can use that to factor in how to water your lawn. So take a look at this video that I'm linking here for you in the chat. That's going to be a good option for, in addition to what I just said, to fill in the blanks a little bit more. And it also talks about hydrotain in the end as well, too. All right, Jeff Lee's in the house. Says, thank you so much for your help. You are very, very welcome, Jeff. Thank you for being part of the live stream and for asking some awesome questions. Blue J 3000 is just giving me high five, so right back at you. High five and fist bump. Blue J 3000. Patrick in Texas, what's going on, Patrick? What's going on, sir? Nice to see you in the live stream. And then we got some other regulars. Organic Lawn Warrior, what's going on? Hello. And G Free, good questions and advice. Stripe action, learning a lot. That's always good, man. Always good. And Dwizzle saying, what's up, gang? Did I miss the giveaway? Yep, you missed it. Dwizzle, sorry. Maybe next week. No, man, you haven't missed it yet. You haven't missed it. Actually, on that note, let's get started. So we're at 9:30. There's more questions. Guys, hang out in the live stream. I will come back to the questions after the giveaway is done. But we will start the giveaway now, all right? So the way this works, you had to go into last week's live stream and add a comment with the name of my Bermuda grass plot that's on the patio, okay? So if you didn't do that and you left a comment, then you're not eligible. You got to make sure you put that in there. So that was like one of the criteria to enter, all right? The way I do this is I use like a random comment picker, and I think I've already got the comment. I already got the live stream picked up here. So let me make sure I've got the right video. So we'll switch over. Yep, and I'm gonna make sure I got the right video. Boom to that, and I think that is the right one for last week. Pretty sure. And
if you live in a qualified zip.
If I scroll, last week's video, August 13th, right? So this is the correct one, and that is the one that's being pasted. You can see it ends in 5cc. that is the one that's being pasted into the comment picker here, 5cc, all right? So we'll say fetch, and it will go through and search and grab all the comments, and there are 60 comments loaded. All right, 60 comments. So the first thing we are giving away, guys, the first thing is the My Soil Test Kit. You guys know this. It's the one we love and use here on the channel. And the winner for that, you must be present to win. Must be present to win. The winner for the Soil Test Kit is Thin Cut. Thin Cut. Thin Cut, please come to the DJ booth to claim your prize of the My Soil Test Kit. You see that he answered Leroy. That is correct. That is the correct name for the my Bermuda Grass plot. So I'm going to put you in here, Thin Cut, as the winner for that. And guys, if your name is called on this, the way you're going to have to let me know is put your address, email me your address of where you want the Soil Test Kit or whatever you happen to win sent to here, ron@golfcourselawn.com. I need your address to be able to let my soul know where to send it, and also to be able to ship out the other stuff to you guys. So that's my email address. That's where it needs to go. All right, back to the giveaway. So Thin Cut, congratulations, sir. Next up is the first of the Release Zero NutriKelp packages. So again, you've got the 10% micronized carbon here, and then the 2% micronized carbon, but 24% kelp in the NutriKelp. All right, so we'll get rid of Thin Cut. Next up, our next winner is G-Free. G-Free, are you present? I actually know you're present because you just commented in here. You, sir, have won your very own samples of Release Zero and NutriKelp. So congratulations on being a winner for these guys. I'll get that out to you. Let me put your name here in my notes. So G-Free, if you don't mind, sir, send me an email with your mailing address where you want it to go. Okay, back to the giveaway. And he is correct. Leroy is the name. So for the second chance to win Release Zero and NutriKelp, again, in the live stream tonight, our winner is Robert Mejores. Robert, are you present? I haven't seen you in the live stream tonight as yet, so we'll give you a little bit time. And if not, I will we'll pick another winner. I haven't seen you in the live stream, but we shall see Robert Mejores. I got you in here. All right, and we'll back up. And now, guys, for the grand prize. I don't say the grand prize because they're all excellent prizes. Soil Test Kit is probably the one that's the most valuable out of all of these, to be completely honest. But then for those of you guys that want something to keep the heat off your head while you're out there mowing, you got the Mirimichi Green trucker hat. Let's go back to the random comment picker and select our winner for that. So for the Mirimichi Green trucker hat, our winner tonight is Dwayne Hopkins. He says, forgot to mention all the plots, the ones that is known to Hulk out. So that's correct. It is Leroy. I know that Dwayne did put Leroy in the comments, but he also put another comment in saying that. So Dwayne, if you are present, I'll put your name down here for the trucker hat. Be sure to just say, yeah, I'm here. Don't give away my stuff, because if you don't, then someone else is going to get it. And believe me, this bunch here, Dwayne, they're ruthless, man. This bunch is ruthless. They'll be quick to come in here and snatch up your prize. So let me know if you guys are present. Let me see if any of you guys have written in as yet. I haven't seen you guys write. So Thin Cut, G-Free, Robert Juarez, and Dwayne, you guys must be present at the time I selected. So make sure you comment below that, yeah, I'm here. So G-Free I see. I don't see G-Free. G-Free, did you step in and leave? Maybe. Oh, no, sorry. I don't see Thin Cut. I don't see Thin Cut or Robert or Dwayne as yet. So we may be doing another draw. Don't go away as yet, guys. You may have another chance to win, unless someone calls them and lets them know they need to come claim their prize. All right. Our next questions. Let's see what we got here. Dada K Chili says, best, cheapest liquid iron. I don't know the answer to that, because I don't, as far as liquid iron, I don't typically apply straight liquid iron products to my lawn. When I apply liquid iron, Dada K Chili, I use this. I use Turfplex. Turfplex is a fertilizer. This is a part of what I use as part of my spoon feeding program. This has iron in it. In addition to this, I use a product called Nutrizolve, which I'll show you here. That's available in the Golf Course Lawn Store. I'll go back to Le Browser, and I will show you Nutrizolve. Nutrizolve is this. This is really cool in that this has not only iron in it, It also has an entire micronutrient stack. So as far as like a liquid micronutrient option, this is a great product too. So you get iron, you also get manganese, zinc, copper, boron, a little bit of zinc in there as well. So this covers everything. So between Nutrizolve and Turfplex, these are what I use for iron and other micronutrient on my lawn. Okay, so I don't have, as far as the cheapest option, I'm not sure there's options cheaper than that, but at 45 bucks, you know, you're getting a FERT as well as some other stuff as well too. So worth looking into. It's a great option. Mazama Blue, no, Humic Max is not available in New York as yet. We'll have to revisit that hopefully next year. We'll see what Lebanon will do, because I think there's a cost and definitely paperwork associated with making fertilizers available in different states. So not yet. Maybe next season. We'll have to see. And then we have an endorsement, Alex B saying, Humic Max is awesome. I'm definitely a convert. Far superior to the big box store stuff, despite the upfront cost, is actually a big savings in the long run with how far it goes in comparison. That's a great point, right? You know, it's a lot of people will say, the look at Humic Max, for you guys that don't know what he's talking about, Humic Max is our fertilizer of choice on the golf course lawn store. It's the one that from Lebanon Turf that they allowed us to sell. It sells for $69.99. You might say, well, that's kind of expensive for fertilizer. However, along with a 1608 fertilizer, you're also getting a product that also has almost 9% humic acid in it, and it covers up to 15,000 square feet. So one bag of this, you can get multiple applications out of it. You know what I mean? So when you actually price it, it's actually not that expensive per application compared to the big box store offerings. And it's a better fertilizer. It means it's better, like literally everywhere. The kind of nitrogen they use is better. The humic acid component to it is better. The prill size is smaller, so it's just another level when it comes to fertilizer. It's made by Lebanon Turf, who does not, people take the fertilizer very seriously. All right. Next up, we got Big Sarge Speaks in the house. He says, should you get your lawn treated with pre-emergent after seeding? Right after seeding, no, I would wait on that Big Spark. So until the lawn is rooted in and growing well, you want to avoid pre-emergent, because like pre-emergent does what's called root clubbing. It helps suppress a plant's ability to grow weeds or grow roots. So if you do that to fresh grass, so you go and you put down a bunch of grass seed and you put all your work in, you water it, you get it to germinate, and you go put pre-emergent on it. Not necessarily going to kill it, but it's going to hurt the ability for that grass to grow roots, which could kill it whenever like warmer temperatures roll around or cool temperatures roll around. So as a general rule for fresh grass, you want to avoid putting pre-emergent on it for several months. 6 months is a good number for a grass like Bermuda. If you're dealing with cool season grass, a lot of those guys won't put pre-emergent on their grass for an entire year after it being installed, right? So I would not put pre-emergent on a lawn that was just seeded. No, to answer your question. Would not do that. It's a bad idea. You're going to get a bad outcome by doing that. All right, and Derek's up next. He says, hey, Ron, love listening to the channel. I appreciate it, Derek. Thanks for watching. So let's see here. So we got Dwayne is here. Thin Cut is also here. I know G Free is here. Who are we missing? Robert Mejorez is not here, guys. He's not here. I don't see him. So we're going to be redoing that one. And while we're waiting for Robert, let me get down here and grab a super chat from Papa Moslow. I appreciate you, sir.
Super chat received.
He's sorry, guys, got to run. Can't stay any longer. I'll be back listening on the replay. So Papa Moslow, let's do the redraw right now. Hopefully you're still around. Hopefully you don't win, because it would stink for you not be here. But let's go back to the random comment picker. So we are redrawing now for Robert Mejorez, because he wasn't here tonight, and that is for the second sample kit for this, right? All right, so let's clear Dwayne away. And the winner for that is Calvin Winston. Calvin, are you here? I didn't see you, Calvin. I'll put you in here tentatively, but we're probably gonna be drawing that again. If you're here, you're lurking, because I don't remember seeing your name tonight. Calvin Winston, are you present? If not, we'll be redrawing it again. I just can't give away the Release Zero NutriCalc, man. We'll see. So let's go back up here, see what other questions we have while we wait to do another drawing, probably for the part of the golf course lawn carbon kit. All right. Next up, we got Jorge Martinez says how to fight nutsedge and spurge on a Bermuda lawn. So there's a couple of options for that, Jorge. An inexpensive option is to use something like Spectracide. That's a good option. Not terribly expensive. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. If we come back to this tab and I show you, not that Spectracide, that's the wrong one, but this one, the orange bottle. This is a good option for treating both nutsedge and spurge. It's kind of on nutsedge, but for spurge, it's actually really good. If you want like a really good combination for taking care of both of those, for nutsedge and spurge, check out the video that I did earlier this week that talks about mixing certainty and Celsius. Like those, that's a really good herbicide combination that will target both of those. We'll take out both of those. A little bit more expensive to put together, but it's a very good option that's not going to damage your lawn in the process. So I'll put that in the chat for you as well, Jorge. So at Jorge Martinez, if you've not seen that video, go check it out. Once you watch that video, in the description, there's going to be the links to that certainty and Celsius. And actually, I'll throw them in the chat here for you as well too, just so you have that to make it easy for you. Yep. So these two here are good options for that. All right. So Robert, I don't see him, guys. So we're gonna go back again. We're gonna do this one more time. We're gonna go back again to the giveaway. And see if we can find another winner who's actually present for the for release 0 and NutriKelp. All right, back to the random comment picker. We'll switch over here. All right, Calvin, I don't think is present, so now we will choose someone new. SA holding it down. I don't think he's here either. I don't remember seeing his name. SA San Antonio holding it down. You got a few minutes here to let us know if you are present, to know if you can win the release 0 and NutriKelp. And if not, we'll just be picking someone else. All right. Let's see what other questions we've got here in the chat. So Sean Heath is in the house. He says, yeah, my spurge is the only weed I'm fighting with. Handpick it mostly. Yeah, that can work, man. Handpicking spurge is actually a pain. Like I have a video on that, and I actually show that as an option. It can work, but spurge, you have to be super careful because the runners for it are so thin, it's really easy to break it off and not get like the tap root, the main long root that is feeding like the vine, like feeding the main spurge. If you're okay with herbicides, Sean, you could use Spectracide, you could use Celsius. Those are both options that'll work well. But yeah, if you get the patience, you got the time, make sure to just you can absolutely pick it out, but just also wear gloves as you do that, because for some people the sap that's in spurge will irritate your skin. So just something to keep in mind if you are going to go that route. All right, so we got a question here from Derek about overwatering. Derek Doang, he says, overwater the lawn after leveling and I see a layer of algae. What should I do? So the big thing is just to stop overwatering it. Like back off the watering. That's going to do a lot to get rid of the algae. If you take away the conditions that are promoting it, that should take care of the problem. If you also want to take like a rake, Derek, like just a regular a light rake, like a grass rake, and rake the areas that have the algae. That will if it got kind of hard and kind of caked on the top on the surface, that'll break it up and also help the grass to punch through it, to grow through it. But the big thing is just to stop the conditions, stop doing the stuff that's causing the algae to grow, right? So in this case, we know watering is what caused it to come in. We're going to back that off, and that should help a lot with helping the algae. The algae. Great question. Okay, I must have missed a question on leveling rakes or something, or whatever. But but if so, I'll speak to it. 007 says, hey, AB, Princess Cut Lawn Cares did an amazing video on leveling lawn leveling rakes as of 12 hours ago. Check it out. It's plenty helpful in selecting which rake to go with. If I missed a question from someone when I was scrolling down for a super chat or scrolling down to see who had commented on the giveaway, yeah, so there's different options for leveling rakes. There's the standard golf one. There's the R&R products one. Check out George's video. I watched it. I saw the video. It's actually a pretty good video, I thought. I know he's getting some hate in the comments for it, but I thought the video was actually fairly well done, I thought. But yeah, take a look at it, because he shows like one of the rakes that I have, which is the R&R products rake, which I really like. There's a German one that he also shows, And there's also one that he shows from, God, who makes it? I'm drawing a blank. The people that make the compost spreader. I don't know, but watch his video. We go look at Princess Cut Lawn Care's channel, and you'll be able to see it's his recent video. He think he published it today, so just go look at that video, and you'll be able, if you're in the market for a leveling rake, you can check that video out because it's got some good content in there on that. I have the R&R, and I've also used the standard golf rake. So they're both really good rakes. So yeah, just you can't go wrong with either one of them. Can't go wrong with either one of them. All right. Wesley has a question, or actually, no, sorry, not Calvin Peterson is first. He says, I live in Cali. I have Kentucky bluegrass. And I need pest control and crabgrass clover killer that's getting out of control with patches. Okay, so for the pests, so for something you can spray on Kentucky bluegrass, I want to say Tenacity will help with that because you need a cool season herbicide. So Tenacity is a decent option, Calvin. You can check out. As far as pest control, I mean, the one that I would recommend, you didn't say what you're dealing with. It'd be nice to know what kind of pests. I mean, I guess when you say pests, you're talking about insect pests. The one that I would recommend, or that has coverage for a lot of the common ones, is the one from Mirimichi Green. It's this guy here, if I can bring it up here. So I've got a bottle of it here, but it's a Mirimichi Green Pest Control. This guy, it's available on the golf course lawn store. The nice thing about this guy is it is all natural. Not terribly expensive, and it treats a lot of your common lawn care pests. So like mosquitoes, chinch bugs, no-see-ums, white flies, army worms, like a lot of the pests that are just a pain to deal with in your lawn. This product controls them, takes care of them, and it's all natural, meaning that, as soon as you finish spraying it, you can re-enter the lawn. So kids, pets can re-enter the lawn without issue. If you're interested in seeing a video on how to apply it, I did a video a couple of weeks ago where I talk about the product, talk about how to apply it. It's kind of a fun video. I try to show my dry sense of humor in the video. So if you're looking for something in that space that's also safe that you can get in California, so I know you have restrictions on a lot of stuff, check out this video. And as far as the actual product, you can get it at the golf course lawn store. All right, guys. So who won the sample, the kit? I don't think Calvin or SA Town is. He's here. Present. SA holding it down is present. He came out of the woodwork. Okay, so the winner is SA holding it down. So SA holding it down for the winners. I think we've got everybody selected. Send me an email here, ron@golfcoursalon.com, with your mailing address of where you want your prize sent to. So for the soil test kit, it was thin cut. For the first Mirimichi Green sample of Release Zero and NutriKelp, it was G-Free. For the second, it was SA holding it down. And then for the trucker hat, which we will be getting more, I'll be getting more of these to give away, it was Dwayne Hopkins. So send me your address. So I can get this stuff out to you. All right. Back to the questions. I'm glad we got the giveaway taken care of. I don't want to string it out too long where you guys don't get your stuff, don't get your swag. So we're good to go. All right. Ruben Harris is up next. He says, Ron, I really appreciate your commitment in helping me in the lawn journey. That's it, man. It's fun. Like I know what it's like to have to try and figure things out for myself. And so I figured that why not help other people out, right? Why not help you guys get a better lawn in the process. So it's always fun. I did not start the channel out to grow it to where it is now, but it's just, I'm really happy with where it is. And I get to meet a lot of really, really cool people and help people create some amazing lawns, which is always fun, right? So great. I'm glad to hear that you're getting a great result, Ruben. I appreciate it. We got a super chat from Calvin Winston. Actually, Calvin, dang it. I'm up to, so I did Calvin. He's here. Calvin, I guess you are here. So I think I have an extra one of these. So SA holding it down. If you send me your address, you'll get one. And Calvin, if you send me your address, you'll get one as well. I'll just have to give away an extra set, because I didn't see you in the chat, because you won one of the sample kits. So yeah, anyway, my mistake, my error, you guys get to benefit from it. So there you go. Ruben says, it seems like I got a color pop from the carbon kit, or real in my imagination. It depends. So the carbon kit does have a little bit of fertilizer in it. So you do have, in NutriKelp, you've got the 24% sea kelp in this, but you've also got a little bit of nitrogen, a little bit of phosphorus, and a little bit of potassium as well. So it could be the potassium that's showing up and showing you showing you that color response. It doesn't take very much because if you guys remember that video I did with on Real Rollers Turf Park earlier this year, like 7% potassium was enough to produce a visual response in the grass. So yeah, it's quite possible that you are seeing a response from particularly the NutriCalc portion of it as well. But if you are doing the carbon kit and you're combining it with the NutriCalc, with the Turfplex, you're really going to see a response because as far as really helping accelerate nutrient uptake and allowing you to get a lot more out of your fertilizer, the Release Zero is excellent for that. So I'm glad you're getting a good result with it, Ruben. And just let me know if I can help with anything else. Great stuff. Calvin Winston's in the house. He says, Ron, thanks for all the great content and advice. My second top dress of the season. Man, you are a glutton for punishment, sir. I salute you. I salute you. Went amazingly well. Humic Max gave me a super deep green. It wasn't my goal, but I'm crushing my neighbor's lawn. That's awesome, man. I am glad to hear that all your hard work is paying off. 2 top dresses in a season is definitely, you're doing it, man. You're getting it done. But and I'm glad that your neighbors are hopefully you're also giving your neighbors some advice too. Don't hog up all the good info. Help your neighbors out as well too in the process. All right, and then Dwizzle says, "Hey Ron, upload the live stream intro video. I'd love to have it just playing as a screensaver. That track is dope. # mad views. Sure, I can do. What I will do is I can take that section and cut it out and just upload it unlisted. And if you're in the live stream, I'll put it there. I'll link to it. How about that? I'll link to it to where you guys can get it. And Drizzle, if you want, send me your email address, ron@golfcourselawn.com. I'll take that portion, I'll upload it, and then I'll send it to you so you can have it. You can just have it playing and looping if you want. No problem there. I mean, putting it live is not the great idea because it's a countdown of me just mowing grass, which it's gonna you would like it, but most people are gonna get irritated by it. So I'll upload it. I'll leave it unlisted, and I will just I'll send it to you so you can actually have that if you want. No problem at all. All right. Ogsen says, "Hey Ron, I just got my soil test. I guess your results." He says, "I'm ready to start this journey. Thank you for all the great info. I have Bermuda grass with a buffet of other stuff." That's okay, man. We're gonna clean it up. We'll work on it over time. Ready to get this going from Charlotte, NC. Well, you're on the right track, man. You're on the right track. You got your soil test. It's gonna tell you. It's literally the answers to the tests. Like in school, you have a really hard exam. You're not sure what to do as far as the way to study. A soil test will literally tell you what to apply to your lawn to get the best possible results. So the fact that you went that route was really, really smart, and I will be here to help you out as much as I can to help you get the most out of your lawn. So yeah, very, very cool. All right, next up, Chase Toby's in the house. He says, "What can I use for grubs in Ohio?" A lot of different options, Chase. The one that I recommend is a product called Acelepryn. The reason why I say that is Acelepryn, there are several products that will control grubs, right? The nice thing about Acelepryn is that the active ingredient in it, which I can't pronounce, it's chlorantraniliprole. I got it. I think I got that right. Will kill grubs, will kill annual bluegrass weevils. It'll get rid of a couple other ones, bill bugs as well, but it won't hurt earthworms or other pollinators, right? So which is a big deal because if you care about you want to kill the bad bugs, but don't kill the good bugs. You want to use a product called Acelepryn. So I will put that here in the chat for you. So at Chase Toby, there is the insecticide I'm talking about. It's an excellent one. I've also done a video on that. If you want to see how to apply it, just in general, like what makes it awesome and why you should care, I've got a video here that I did earlier this season on that you can watch. That is going to they'll tell you all about Acelepryn, how it works, why it's awesome, and then where to pick it up. I gave you a link there, so you're all set. You can apply that now, and then for season-long grub control, that should take care of it. You apply that, and you should be good to go. All right, thanks for the comment and the question. Next up, we got Rahul Berman saying, "Hey everyone, happy Friday." What's going on, Rahul? Thanks for coming to hang out, sir. And then Andy Watley, thanks for and you giving me a chance to take a sip of my lemonade. He says, "Hey Ron, happy Friday." Pressing that like button ever so gently while enjoying my Milo's lemonade. I'm enjoying just, Publix lemonade tonight. But if you guys wouldn't mind while I take a sip of my lemonade, touching that like button ever so gently. It's free for you guys. Great way to support the channel. And it gives me a chance to take a sip of my lemonade. Very good. Nice stuff. Alex B says, "I think that same orange label is safe for KBG and perennial ryegrass and most fescue varieties as well." Need to check the label again for other cool season grasses. I believe you're right, Alex. I think you are right on that. But without just looking at it and having it being sure, I don't want to tell them to go throw that on their lawn and possibly get a bad result, because putting like warm season herbicide on cool season grass can cause like some very nasty results, right? So I want to make sure. But yeah, if you check the label and the label says that it's good for KBG and perennial ryegrass, then by all means go for it, because it's an inexpensive option. It's an inexpensive option, works well, and as long as your temps are not like outside of the recommended range, you're good to go. So yeah, great stuff. I'm looking here, guys. We may have an early evening tonight, so I'm looking to see if there's any other questions. Did I miss any questions? Because I don't want to get any hate mail. When I scroll back and forth, I tend to miss comments, so I always want to make sure that I haven't missed any. I know Eric says, "Hey Ron, what's up? Check in here from the Carolinas. What's going on, Eric?" But yeah, I don't think I've missed any other questions so far. But let me keep scrolling down and seeing if there's any more here. Papa Moslow says, "Congrats to all the winners. I was really hoping for the hat." You're gonna have another option, Papa Moslow. You really are. Don't you worry. There's gonna be more options for the hat. I actually have another one. I don't think I have it here handy, but I have to show you. I have to show you guys that one. It's kind of pretty cool one. Pretty cool one. All right. Pop in. All right, and there we go. Thank you, autofocus. All right, let's see what else we have. Aaron Welch says, he says the iron you use is largely dependent on soil pH. Well, I wouldn't just say the iron you use. It's more on the availability. Can be affected by pH, right, Aaron? So if your pH is, particularly when it's high, a lot of the micronutrients become unavailable for uptake. So whenever you got like a much more alkaline soil, that's when a lot of your micronutrients have more of an issue being absorbed. So that's where you get into like just spraying them, right? Using like foliar products to be able to do that. All right. I think I'm trying to see if there's any other questions. And Dalvin says, "Do we buy enough humic max this year for Lebanon turf to console it to us next year?" I will see. I haven't spoken. I haven't asked to know for sure. But not only to keep selling humic max, but also to see if we're going to be able to expand the line, because Lebanon turf makes other great fertilizers too. I'd like to find another one, or add at least one more to the lineup. But I'll have to see. We haven't had any kind of conversations to know as well as yet, but I mean, it's been selling all right, but yeah, I mean, the more you guys buy, the better, right? Very, very, very good. Okay. Dwayne says, "Ron, not that I don't love the hat, but throwing it out there, if anyone wants to trade, just throwing it out there in case anyone is interested. So if someone doesn't want the hat and someone would prefer the, NutriKelp and Release Zero, you guys can trade and let me know. Just work it out and send me a comment. Send me an email and we'll get it figured out. All right, so Kenny's up next. He says, watering schedule advice: clay, cool season turf in the shade. So for watering, Kenny, so there's a couple things about that when we dig into watering, and I cover that in this video that I'm going to link to here in a second. But let's just dig into this for a little bit. I am a fan of watering a couple times a week, twice per week, heavier than watering like every day. As far as for cool season grass, we'll just say for cool season turf, let's say you have like a fescue or something. For fescue, I want to say it's around 1.5 inches to 2 inches of water per week is what it wants to be happy. So how you get that down on the lawn over the course of a week is dependent on a couple of things. In an ideal world where you can do like 2 waterings in the week, that would be good. That's a great option. But being able to put that much water down is also contingent on the slope of your lawn, right? Like on my front lawn, like I would like to be able to get 1 inch of water down, easier, like just like on the same schedule that I do the back lawn, but I can't really do that because of the slope on the front lawn. So the front lawn actually gets a little bit less water than the back lawn does. So in addition to going with 1.5 inches of water per week split over a couple of watering sessions, it's also like based on like how your lawn is set up, how much water you can get down and not be wasting a lot of water in irrigation. Does that make sense? So for your lawn, the best thing I can tell you, Kenny, a nutshell answer is 1.5 inches of water per week. How you get that 1.5 inches of water down, if you can put it down in heavier sessions, better, in my opinion, than multiple light sessions. mainly because that helps prevent issues with lawn fungus. And as far as watering goes, here's a video where I break down like a bit more about options for saving water. Like I talk about hydrotain in this video. And I have like I show you some websites that you can go to that will tell you for your season, for your area, how much water your area tends to get that time of year. So it can also help you work out your watering program. So let's see, at Kenny, and that's the video you can watch that's on watering. So hopefully that helps. Very, very cool. Yeah, and then Alex B says, yeah, Kelvin is here. I believe he even super chatted. Yeah, so Calvin's here. So Calvin's going to get one, in Super San Antonio Town will also get one of them as well too, because I already told him he won, so he won. Just make sure you send me an email with your mailing address to ron@golfcourselawn.com so I know where to send your stuff. Higgy Pop's in the house. What's going on, Higgy Pop? Thanks for hanging out. I am looking for more questions. I think we are rolling up a little bit crazy on this one. Let's see. Chuck Law says, that's a great question. This is a good one. So Chuck Law says, when is the best time to kill crabgrass in the South? So the best time to kill crabgrass in the South, Chuck, is in the spring with pre-emergent, so it doesn't even grow at all. So the best way to control crabgrass is to not have it grow in the first place. So in the springtime, get down a good pre-emergent. That's gonna be your best bet for controlling crabgrass. If you waited a little bit later, let's say you waited till like, I don't know, April, May, you didn't put any pre-emergent down. What I would probably do, even if you did this in say May, is to spray. You can still get away with a pre-emergent, but go with something like dithiopyr or dimension, because that has a little bit of reach back that can still kill crabgrass, right? So I'm still on the pre-emergent kick. But now, if you're waiting till now, so now is when you waited this long to get to it, you got a couple of options. Probably, you didn't say what kind of grass you have. Probably one of the better one of the best post-emergents for killing crabgrass is called quinclorac. The thing is, though, you can't, you have to be careful with it. You don't want to spray that if you have St. Augustine grass, which you probably don't have. I mean, I'm not sure where in the South you are, but if you have Bermuda or Zoysia, you're going to be good to go with quinclorac. If you don't have, if you have St. Augustine grass, then don't spray that. Then you want to use something like Celsius. Celsius isn't the absolute best for killing crabgrass, but it can work. And it works on pretty much everything. So get on like Do My Own or wherever, and then look up some quinclorac, and that would be your go-to. That's what you could apply now. One thing you got to keep in mind, even if you decide to go with quinclorac, it does work better the younger the grass is. So if you got like a fully grown, like a big honking, big chunky Leroy style crabgrass that's just fully grown and is healthy, you're just not going to get as good control with that. As you would if you'd done it a little bit earlier in the season. You know what I'm saying? So quinclorac's a good option. Look it up here on Do My Own, and you should be able to get that there. Hopefully that helps. I don't have a link for that one for you. I can see if I can get one here for you in a little bit, but that is what I would go with. That's what. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Lanzi. Yes, the Lanzi was the rake. That was the rake that George was talking about in the video. So thanks for letting me know that, guys. Appreciate it. And Xavier 19 says, there goes my chance to win the hat. Yes, goes your chance to win the hat this week, but there will be other chances, I promise. There will be other chances to win another Mirimichi Green trucker hat. So fear not, let your heart not be troubled. There'll be another chance to win a hat. All right, Skinny Geek's in the house. He says, I picked up the lawn scissors for my Ego trimmer, and I'm really loving them. I was a little worried about the noise, but it's actually not that bad. Have you tried those as yet? No, I haven't, but you know what? I'm going to need one because along the fence line, the newly installed fence line there, like up by the rocks, like there's about a 4 to 6 inch area that I can't really mow, and it's starting to look kind of ratty. So, and I don't want to use a string trimmer on that. So that's where I think I'm going to have to break down and pick up one of those scissors, Skinny Geek. I might go with the one from Still. Still actually makes one that goes in with the combi system. So that is the one I'll probably go with. And I actually did find a link for that quinclorac for you, for anyone that's looking for that. So let me put that in the chat for you now. I can't spell, sorry. But there you go. If you need that for the crabgrass issue. And guys, I think we are getting close to wrapping up. We got Ed here. It's a good question from Ed. He says, hey, I have a company that takes care of my lawn, and they are not doing that great of a job anymore. I don't really have the time to take care of my own lawn. What should I do? Are there companies out there that are any good in your opinion? I mean, you can switch it up if you want. Like I don't know who you're using. Like around here, who's good? If you're in the Georgia area, like again, I'm not affiliated with these guys, but just looking at the lawns when I walk around the neighborhood. When I walk and I do my lawn inspections, looking around and see what the grass looks like. The lawns that are done by Turfmark look pretty good. Like I've seen a lot of their lawns; those lawns tend to look pretty good. But again, if you're not in Georgia or you're not in this area in Georgia, that's not going to be really helpful. So yeah, as far as any of the other ones, like the True Greens or those are kind of hit and miss depending on the applicator. But Turfmark, I think they're local to this area. They do a pretty good job on lawns. Like their lawns tend to look pretty good. But also keep in mind, Ed, the person spraying your lawn or doing some lawn work on your lawn, that's only part of the puzzle, right? So they spray stuff on your lawn, that's going to help. But you also have to do your part with mowing. So if you're not mowing the lawn regularly, ideally twice a week is really what you need to be doing for the lawn to really look good. The lawn's just always going to be lagging a little bit. In other words, if you're only cutting your grass every 2 weeks, it's going to look all right, but it's never going to look really good, right? Regardless of whoever you go with, like your part, or maybe not you necessarily, but someone needs to mow the grass, once a week, but ideally twice a week is what you really want to get the best possible result. So there's something to keep in mind before you go shopping from shopping from one place to another. Know that mowing helps with a lot of different things as far as minimizing weeds, the grass looking good. Just in general, you can't hurt by mowing your lawn more frequently. Very, very, very good. So Ralph Oliver says, what's the active ingredient in Mirimichi pest control? So there's the thing. It's an all-natural pest control. So there's not really a chemical active ingredient in it per se. There's several types of oils in it that help control it, along with some soaps that act as a surfactant. So if I tell you what's in here, let's see. So you've got lemongrass oil, geranium oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, so that's the soaps, castor oil, cedarwood oil. So there's a couple of different oils that are used along with some other stuff they combine in this product to help kill that's very, very effective at controlling pests, again, like mosquitoes, spiders, chinch bugs, whiteflies, all those types of things. If you're interested in finding out or seeing the label up close, one, you can just check here at the Golf Course Lawn store, Ralph. So go here. I've got it up right here. I'm not sure if you can make out the label, but if you go, I think down here, I've got the label as one of the options that you can click on and look in detail to see what's in it. But I've also got a video that I put out a couple weeks ago that talks about it in a little bit more detail. So hopefully that helps. And again, I've been getting some really good response from people as far as using it, liking the fact that it smells like Pledge. It smells like almost like lemon, has like a lemon lime flavor smell to it. So it doesn't smell bad at all, like some like all natural pest controls can, and it actually works, right? So it smells good, it kills bugs, won't hurt baby kids, pets, or big people, and it works. So that's the you can't ask for any more than that, right? And it's not that expensive. Daryl Tons Halls is chiming in. He says Humic Max is awesome, plus Turfplex, Nutrisolve, and C Extra. That's Ron. That's the Ron fertilizer program. Yep, that is my spoon feeding program. It's a combination of granular and liquid fertilizers. I've got a video on the channel that explains it and breaks it down as far as like how I apply, at least the schedule that I apply things. And I think it puts some rates in there as well. But even in more details in the course at the Golf Course Lawn Academy at golfcourselawn.com. So if you're interested in that, be sure to check it out. Be sure to check it out. Alex B, I am going to do that. He says, Ron, we need a new update of all your lawn equipment. Must have added a lot to your arsenal since you did a similar vid a while back. I've added a few things, like the Greensmaster is a thing now. Like that wasn't in it last time when I did the lawn equipment overview. The fogger wasn't there. Some of the sprayers weren't there. So yeah, so you're right. Probably am due, but it's just, I don't know if it's going to be something that most people care about, but we shall see. We shall see. All right, Mazama Blue says core aerate first and then pre-emergent in the fall. Correct? Yes, that is the order I would do them in, Mazama Blue. Here's the thing. I have core rated after applying pre-emergent, and I've still gotten a good result as far as like controlling weeds. But for the best possible control, yeah, your order is correct. You want to core aerate the lawn and then do your pre-emergent afterwards. That's going to be the best result because you're not breaking that barrier that you're putting in in the lawn with a pre-emergent. So good. That's an excellent way to go. That is the way to do it. All right. Let's see. Donna Hale says, I think a good wrap up is to tell us about your wall covering the left. Tech logos? Yeah. So these are, so this logo, this poster you're seeing here, I can't show you guys close up, but Icons of the Web. This is there's only 15 of these in the world. 250 of these is in existence. Fyodor, which you guys know who that is, but it's the guy that wrote a scanning tool that we use in pen testing called Nmap. When I was at Black Hat, God, it's probably been 6 or 7 years ago at this point. He was asking me some questions, kind of like I ask you guys random questions. He was asking me some random questions about the tool and scripting and how it works to see how well the people that actually use the tool knew. And I was there in the audience, and I was like, I know the answer to that one. So he called on me, and I answered it, and he says, yeah, cool, so you got it. So I have poster 2 of 15. But yeah, it's got what this represents, what the poster has on it, the size of them, and you guys can't really see it. What it has is, in size, is the amount of traffic to those websites on the internet. So at the time when this was done, Google was the biggest, but probably these days Facebook would probably be bigger, or not probably bigger, but it would be a lot bigger than it is now. So YouTube, Facebook would be bigger than they are now. Yahoo would be a lot smaller. So that's what the size of the logos represent. So it's kind of a cool poster, kind of nerdy, but it's like, I like it. It's like I said, it's only 15 of them, and I got one of them. So kind of neat stuff. All right. And then let's see here. Alondra Pacheco says, is Celsius and Dismiss a good combination? Yeah, but then you are gonna discolor the turf a little bit with Dismiss. That's the thing you wanna pay attention to, Alondra. Dismiss is a good herbicide, but it's just it's a lot harder on the grass than Celsius is. Like, Celsius is not going to discolor your lawn if you apply it at the correct rates. It's just really mild on the grass that you want to keep. Dismiss is not so much. It's gonna smack your grass. So for me, I would more quickly lean towards a Celsius certainty combination, like I show in that video, unless there's a really specific reason why you want to use Dismiss. Those are my thoughts on the matter. Suraj Malhotra is in the house. He says, hey, Ron, hey, everyone. You often say that mowing is the biggest part of getting a better lawn. I agree. I switched to real mowing every 2 to 3 days. The lawn looks so much better. Thanks for the tips. It is, man, because you think about it, like, mowing stimulates new growth. So think about it. Whenever you stimulate new growth, you stimulate the grass to grow. That's when you're also helping with fertilizer uptake. You're helping with nutrient uptake. It's like the engine that the sun's really the engine that powers everything. But as far as putting stuff on the lawn and getting it into the plant, mowing is something that helps with that, right? And if you injure the lawn, so if you have areas that are a little bit bare, or you have a fungus problem, or you have some other issue going on, mowing is a way to help stimulate growth, to help those areas recover faster. So mowing covers a multitude of sins. It really literally is the most important part of having a great looking lawn. Like I always say, I always joke about it. So if I could bottle up mowing, I'd be a really, really rich man, but it's not. I haven't figured that one out yet. So there we go. Patrick in Texas says 3 words: damn army worms. Yeah, they are pretty nasty, man. They are pretty nasty. All right, so he says, I see where the armyworm remnants of them hatching on my patio, but I can't find any in the yard. Hopefully I'm good. Been spraying biting to control. So you can spray bifenthrin if that's what you want to roll with. You can also spray the pest control. So if you have a fogger, you can literally get there and you can spray your entire lawn with it. That's also an option as well too, for armyworms as well, Patrick. So either way, whichever one you want to go with, you can do both. You can actually mix them like that. You can mix this product with bifenthrin if you want. So you want like a double whammy, that mixes with it and will also work well from that standpoint. All right. Gabriel Pastrin says, any tips on how many times to put fertilizer on cool season grasses, Kentucky bluegrass? So KBG requires less fertilizer than Bermuda. The general rule I say is when it's actively. So here's the thing: it's how often is not an easy answer, because whereas Bermuda wants 4 to 5 pounds of nitrogen over the course of the year, right, over the course of the growing season, KBG, I believe, is less than that. It's more like 2 to 3 pounds. It's quite a bit less than Bermuda is. But then how you give it how you space that fertilizer out is based on the kind of fertilizer you're using, right? So you could use something like you go to Home Depot, they have some fertilizers there that they quote as will last like 6 months or last 4 months. So you apply once and you're good for the entire season. So in other words, incredibly slow release fertilizers, those you could apply it once, maybe twice per season and be good. But if you're using something that's a little bit faster release, a little bit quicker release, like something like Humic Max, like the fertilizer that I like and use, that fertilizer really works best. I'll show you here, Gabriel Patterson. This one really works best when applied every 4 to 6 weeks, right? Because the way it's formulated, it's designed to release the nitrogen, release its nutrients quicker than some of the slow release ones. So in a case of using Humic Max, you would be applying that one every 4 to 6 weeks. So it could be, to answer your question, it could be once per season, or it could be every 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the type of fertilizer you're using. But for your grass type, like do a quick Google search, figure out like how much nitrogen for your particular grass type over the course of the season, and then divide that up and make sure your applications really don't exceed that. So really, with fertilizer, I tend to when it comes to nitrogen inputs, I tend to bias more on the lighter side than the greater side. So you can always add more nitrogen. You can't really take it out once you put it down on the lawn. So 0.7, 0.8 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet per month is probably a good number for Kentucky bluegrass. But yeah, so you do a little bit of research. But hopefully that helps answer your question. That it's not as simple as saying put it down every month, because it depends on the kind of fertilizer you're using too. If you're using Humic Max, once per month. That's the answer. So hopefully that helps. Great question. Connor Souls has a question about backlapping. He says, "Hey Ron, do you backlap?" Your reel mid-season? When testing with paper today, 2 of my single blades are not cutting as well as the rest of the reel. Did not see any damage on them, so I might backlap and see. I don't, Connor. I just tend to take the mower in and just have Jerry Pate, like have them look at it and grind it if necessary. Here's the thing: outside of the one time when I mowed, I got into some sand after top dressing. Like the Greensmaster, that like their reels, the metal, it's harder. And I'm really disciplined about only mowing grass with the mower. Other than that one time when I mowed concrete, but if you guys haven't seen that, it's really entertaining. You should check the video out for that. But if you're only cutting grass, you should be able to get by with really one sharpening per season, and then adjusting the reel to bed knife tolerance using those 2 bed bar adjustment bolts on the front of the mower. If you bring the tolerance in, meaning you move it in a little bit more, and to where you have like very, very, just a nyah of contact, just very light contact. You do not want it you don't want heavy contact at all. If you are getting light contact and it's still not cutting paper, for me, rather than backlapping it, that's the time to take the mower in and get the reel freshened up. That's what I do. I just take it in, have them grind it, and then I'm good to go. So both for the True Cut and for the Greensmaster, if I stay out of sand, if I don't cut sand with it and don't hit concrete with it, I normally don't have to backlap. Once per season is I'm good to go. I just make adjustments to that tolerance throughout the season to make sure that it's always cutting paper. So hopefully that helps. But give it a shot, man. Go if you have the means to backlap and you want to give that a shot, by all means go for it. It's not gonna hurt anything. And you're saying I got a vote of confidence on the steel rotary, huh? You said I have the steel rotary scissors. You'll love them. Pretty expensive, but it's $400. Good Lord, that's just for the attachment. It's $400. I said, but great quality. But I guess you know what? Buy once, cry once, right? Buy once, cry once. If it does a good job, then yeah, we'll see. All right, Matt DeGoyer's in the house. He said, "Hey Ron, what's up? At least I'm catching the end of the chat. You are, Matt. You are. You did get in here before the very end." Let's see. Thin Cut says, "I will trade for the hat. However, send the hat to birthday boy. I believe it was Papa Moslow." All right, we'll see. Okay, so yes, tell you guys what. Whoever's trading, you guys got to email me because I can't keep track of who's getting what. I've got my notes here, but just send me an email saying, "Yeah, I won the hat." Give it to whoever you want, and I will get it to that person. All right, how does that work? That works. All right, on the lawn training is saying, my cousin Leroy is watching the live stream with me. He wanted to tell you that not all Leroys are Hulks. Well, on the lawn training, your cousin that's watching or Leroy that's watching, you never know, man. You might Hulk out eventually, but yeah, I appreciate you watching. It's always fun, always good fun to have you guys out hanging out. All right. Stephen Clayton says he cuts every other day, and yes, it makes a difference. And let's see. Clayton Wilson says Doc has a video to expose armyworms by pouring a mixture of water and Dawn. Yeah, this is a soap test. Yep. On a 5-gallon bucket. Tried on a thin part of my lawn, and several came to the surface. I was able to treat the entire lawn. That's a good tip, Clayton. Definitely a good tip to as a way to find out if you have armyworms as an issue in your lawn. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it. JK has a question saying, "Hey, do you have a groomer on your greens master? Do groomers essentially give you a light verticut with each use?" Great question. So no, I don't have a groomer on my greens master. And actually, for home lawns, you really don't want to use one, because so the thing is, a groomer is designed to tease the turf, right? It's really designed to be used on greens. So I have actually a video on groomers. I'll link it here in the chat for you in a second, JK. But if you a groomer is not designed to be used as a light verticutter. It's designed to lightly to cut any, really on bent grass greens, to cut any grass, any runners that are laying down, to help produce a better cut overall with the mower. It's not designed. They're not designed to be used as verticutters on our grass, on our turf, right? So, you know, some people try to use them for that, but all you're really doing is you're just introducing a lot more wear into the groomer, and you're not really helping things. So again, it's a device that's designed for greens, not really for the cutting heights that most people run their lawns at. If you were mowing your lawn at, like, say 0.3 inches or lower, that's when you're getting into the zone, 0.3 inches, I should say, 0.3 inches or lower, like a third of an inch or lower. That's where you're starting to get into the zone where a groomer starts to make sense. But most people aren't doing that. Most people aren't cutting their lawn anywhere near that short. So, you know, for most people, and you'll find that too, a lot of guys that have groomers on their lawns and their reel mowers, they just they think they're cool, they buy them, and then they just turn them up. They either disable them or just raise them up super high to where you know, they're taken out of play. But here's the video. I've got that. I was looking for that for you, and I found it. Here is the video that I did on that earlier this season. A golf course is really, actually, Stone Mountain Golf Course are really nice to let me come out and shoot at their facility. But yeah, this video will show you all about groomers, how to set one up, and why you really don't want to use one, why they're kind of out of place on home lawns. But if you're interested, check out that video. I've got it there. All right, and we got Mazama Blue. I didn't talk about Mazama Blue, not Mazama in the house, but Manchester. Thanks for coming to hang out in the chat. I didn't put you up on the screen, but I did see that you were here, so I appreciate that. And let's see what else we got here. Robert Mahorez finally chimes in. He says, wanted to ask, would you recommend putting down 16-4-8 fertilizer on Xeon on September 1st, along with PGR? The answer to that, and you've actually got time because it's the 20th, Robert, is to get one of these guys. This will tell you if your lawn needs potassium, needs phosphorus as well. I mean, long short is it's just a small amount of phosphorus that, yeah, you're probably going to be fine. If you want to do that, go for it. But if you really want to be super hardcore, super dedicated about making sure that you put down the right fertilizer for your grass type, get a soil test done. That's the best way to know what to apply to your lawn, if that makes sense. But yeah, 16-4-8, I mean, it's not that much phosphorus to where it's going to make a huge difference. So should be good to go. Well, guys, I think that is it. To all the winners, everyone that won the trucker hat, the carbon kits, the guys that won that, as well as the soil test kit, please, with a cherry on top, send me an email with your mailing address of where you want the stuff sent to. I cannot send it unless you do that. So get that to me, and I will get it on its way to you. Some other housekeeping, guys. Again, obviously, Humic Max is still in stock at the Golf Course Lawn Store. Essential G is still on sale. It should be on sale until Labor Day weekend. If you guys know what I'm talking about, this is the granular carbon of choice that I really enjoy using. So if you guys are looking for about to add granular carbon to your lawn care program, the price has been lowered on this. It's $5 cheaper. It's not a ton, but it is cheaper, and that price will hold at least until Labor Day weekend. So there is that. The Golf Course Lawn Academy is still a thing if you're looking for some more detailed training around creating a golf course lawn, and the YouTube videos aren't enough for you. There's always that. We have the private Facebook group, which is tons of fun. We cut up and have a great time in there. And I think that's it, guys. If you guys have any questions or comments, definitely let me know below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Get out there and mow your lawns, and I will see you guys next time. Also, be sure to check out on Sunday morning, that video is coming out. You guys can see the savagery that happened to my lawn from my watering experiment. I will see you guys next time. Have an amazing weekend. Take care.